All right. Good evening, everybody. I know there's perhaps actually it's not a bad idea to start this way for the benefit of some of the people who will be watching the VOD, because out of all of the games that I cover, Cultist Simulator has this very delightful side effect of attracting a lot of YouTube views. So if you're coming to this from YouTube, I think chances are a lot of you will already be familiar with my format, which is I do these live on Twitch, which does not make for a very good VOD viewing, and yet I have begun to appreciate that, especially for people who watched me when I lived in Vancouver. This is the only way that some people can appreciate my content, and more importantly, there seem to be quite a few people who are interested in Cultist Simulator that have been watching these VODs, and a very special thank you to them because it is very literally the only positive feedback that I get on YouTube. Now, if you don't like my stuff, that's fine too. It takes a lot to make me cry. Be sure to leave your dislike in the video, and I will be sure to disregard it. But it is maybe something that's worth recognizing that a lot of you guys have been very kind in your comments, and it is something that helps because I very frequently run into the difficulty of I just forget to upload them, and the fact that some people do respond to them, and I sometimes get messages on Twitter saying that they miss it when I don't upload certain videos. It does actually help me to become a little bit more prompt with these things. So thank you for that. I do actually like feedback, even if it's constructive. The only thing I don't like are when people tell me you should, or I'm trying to get better. I mean, I think you guys can probably notice from the blog, there was one which I thought, there's a comment that I thought was not very constructive. It was more just kind of, you should do ... And I probably could have reacted better to it. And I'm trying to be a little bit better in terms of just, not directly engaging on comments that I don't find particularly helpful. But with that in mind, actually, feedback does help, even if it feels weird. It is shockingly uncommon to tell people or to hear from people. Just simple, nothing to add, nothing to change, just like your stuff. And it's very nice to get that sort of stuff. So thank you to the Cultist Simulator community for that. Of course, I'm really ruining it for YouTube by doing a prologue like this, but what that translates to is there's sometimes about 30 seconds of silence at the beginning, just because I don't know whether or not I'm unhosting somebody on Twitch, and all that, the rest of that. The other thing that's worth mentioning, I don't really do this for any other game, but if you are watching through YouTube and there is something that you would like to see, or some kind of a breakdown, or some kind of, YouTube is just a very different format. I mean, I think the ideal format for it is short content. Obviously my streams are 3 to 4 hours long. If there are some specific things that you would like to see, I have been considering the possibility of doing individual, hey, yes, they have Melee Mage. I can talk about that a little bit. But the best I can say is if there's some YouTube content that you would like to see, or some things that would make it easier for you to watch the Cultist Simulator content, I think this is a game that I would be willing to consider branching out some of the things for, and maybe do some dedicated YouTube things. Because right now, obviously my channel looks very ramshackle. It is really just a dumping ground for my VODs. So hey, Johnny Big Time, great to see you. For those of you who haven't seen it, there is an excellent trailer that Weather Factory put out, and I think I feel like such a creep when I find this stuff out. But where was it? Also, I have not been getting Twitter notifications for the last little while, so there's some of you who I've not replied to right away. I'm sorry, that was not deliberate. I really want to find, but yeah, so I got I believe it is Vanessa Williams who cut this trailer. And I always feel like a complete creep whenever I take a little bit of information like that and turn it into a investigation. But there are some reasons for this, which will be apparent in early June. But I like this trailer a lot, and I think so from my understanding of division of labor, this was a little bit of Lottie Bevan, the other half of Weather Factory. I shouldn't say the other half of Weather Factory, who kind of grabs production by the horns and wrestles it to the ground. The result is a trailer I like a whole lot. So you can see this on YouTube. Obviously, the bars are going to be on the side just because I have an oddly shaped monitor. But I'm going to tell you guys why I like this trailer so much just before we jump into the Explorer's build. All right. Like I said, I like that trailer a lot. There's a few reasons for it. So number one, it's a minute long. That is a fantastic time for a trailer like that. I'm going to jump into the game just so you can have something to look at and you can hear the wonderful soundtrack by Mickey Mar. A minute is spectacular. Like movies, trailers tend to overstay their welcome. When I found out there's going to be another trailer coming out, because it was sort of teased, I like this game a lot for my casting style because it gives me a chance to talk about what's going on in my head while I play the game, and I really think that's sort of the heart and soul of this experience. But I also appreciate that my casting style is not for everyone. It's the fact of the matter is that, it's one thing to watch somebody sit down and play, Stellaris or Cultist Simulator or something like that, but it's sometimes difficult. So if you think about it, like to sit somebody down and say, it's like, okay, so like I just move cards around and read text, that doesn't sound very fun. But then you could also reduce Minecraft to that, except for maybe reading some of the text. And I don't think they give you instructions on how to build certain things. But that's a massively successful game. So I was really interested once I knew a new trailer would be coming out. Is like, so how do you convey in a trailer, which is primarily visual, what it is like to play this game? And I mean, you can always get a certain reaction from people, obviously when you have the dun 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 dun, dun music. But again, the Johnny's gonna laugh at this. The pacing is wonderful. I realize my last few playthroughs haven't really shown this, because I've gotten stuck a couple of times. I always feel like I have made a lot more progress in this game off cast than on cast, so I'm gonna try and blend these things two together. But this is the first time I've played the Explorer's build. I've been sitting on it the whole week. I've been really looking forward to this cast today. Because I don't know, there's only one chance that I get to show these first impressions. So, but yeah, I like the trailer a lot because I think it doesn't like, so it conveys the information visually. There's still the text. There's still everything that's kind of going on, and it follows some very good rules. So you put the award and the credits at the front to sort of say, hey, this is a serious thing. And then once they've sort of roped you in with the with the good details, here's some of the, hey, Ego Acheron. once they sort of rope you in with, is like, other people think this thing is good, that's when they get to the really exciting bits, the capital letter dun 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 moments. The cuts are faster. You get to see a few more things, and if you actually, honestly, this game can only be played. This is a thing I love about this game, is that yes, there's text, but so much of the experience of the game is what goes on in your head. It's the meaning behind those cards and sort of what they stand for, either in your own life or in the life of this character. Because I find so many direct... it feels very... Like, I don't know why people like the other VODs, because usually it's just me sorting out my inner demons. Which, of course, will manifest themselves quite literally in this game half the time. But yeah, the thing that attracts me the most to this game, I think, is about what goes on inside your head while you play it. And it's very clear it's not a game for everyone. And I don't think games should try to be one for everyone, so long as this game is able to satisfy enough people to sort of justify its budget and make sure that the people who made it, both contractors and principals, founders, as long as they're paid, they're fairly compensated for their talent, which is quite considerable, as you'll see once I stop yammering and go into the game. That's all that we can really expect. We get something really cool in the world. We get something very unique, and as long as nobody wants to see something like this thud, and it's had a very successful Kickstarter, and it's a great game to follow. Like, I'm not a practitioner, but I've loved watching the development of this game, because the founders of Weather Factory, Alexis Kennedy and Lottie Bevan, are very open in their dialogue, and they talk about the reality. And one thing that I really love about their updates is they talk about when they're sort of outside of their circle of competence. So in terms of marketing and promotion, they sought out a publisher. And it's one thing that I've always been a little bit weirded out, because I have a background in film, right? And even if you're an independent film, you usually try and get a distributor. That's kind of what film festivals were used for such a long time. It was basically a way to get in touch with, like Miramax was sort of like the one that you wanted to get picked up by. That's obviously changed. But yeah, it's a little funny that, at least for now, it doesn't seem to be that games are going that way. And yet I really feel like publishing is sort of the way forward. And that ultimately was what Cultist Simulator's done. Their publisher is Humble Bundle. So anyways, the Explorer's Build. This adds the ability to locate and loot locations out of the world and substantially expands what is available to you through dreams. You can find lots and lots and lots of new books. More art is popping in, and King Crucible now speaks in all caps. There will be missing bits of content and other oddities, and the game balance will be all over the place. Please send feedback and bug reports to support@weatherfactory.biz. For those of you who've seen the previous videos, I have not gotten any better at sending bug reports, and I really do apologize for that. Thank you for your time, your enthusiasm, and the loan of your soul, Lottie and Alexis, following the... I was going to say this is a convention that does not benefit me, but the academic pushback of reverse alphabetical order. Although I guess in last names, that still fits. You talking about a Clockwork Orange during Doom started your 2-day thinking quest in your own head. Oh, that's awesome. All right, and yes, one of my favorite... Oh yes, actually, sorry, I was talking about the tremendous talent behind this, so let's read the credits as well. Dear Mar, this is an early build of the Perpetual Edition of Cultist Simulator. There are still placeholder graphics and uneven mechanics, but it's beginning to come together. Do let me know what you think, and tell me about any problems you come across. There will be a link wherever you found this. Fondest regards, Alexis. Responsibilities, design, writing, and coding, Alexis Kennedy. Production, marketing, biz, Lottie Bevan. UI design and coding on audio, Martin Nerukar. For those of you who don't know, this is a game that I've played as well. Martin was kind enough to give me a key, and I do intend to return to it. I've been a little more neglectful of Nowhere Profit, but it is not for a lack of enjoyment. But his game is Nowhere Profit. It's still in early access on itch. You can buy it. Cultist Simulator, you are going to need to wait for May the 31st to be able to buy it. But if you buy it within, I believe, the first week, you will get access to the lifetime DLC. But do check out Nowhere Profit. I think it's a really interesting card game in its own right. It's a little more of a traditional card game. But it's a card roguelike, which I think is really solid. Art, some wonderful, also wonderful accounts to follow on Twitter. Catherine Unger, Cuckoo, Lottie Bevan, and Sarah Gordon. I know of a couple of books that. Oh, actually, Lottie was sharing a couple of things on her Twitter that she produced, so I think I remember a couple of them. Music Mickey Mar, and special thanks to Sonia and PK, Matt Hosley, and Haley. I actually don't think I know how to pronounce this. Urias, American who has gone to London to work at Fail Better Games and is currently, I want to say marketing, but I believe I might have hers and Hannah Flynn's jobs mixed up. Anyways, responsible for getting the word out for another wonderful game, Sunless Skies. So, anyways, it's an incompatible save. I have an antique and blasphemous save file from a previous build. We'll purge it to continue. You've been very patient with me for 15 minutes in. Let's get on with it. Spirit, alone in this chilly city with my useless education and my dreams. And I haven't thought... I haven't thought about a name. John Apollo. All right, so for those of you unfamiliar with the game, I'm going to try not to retread too much because it's occurred to me that I've kind of talked about how I think this game works and some of the ideas behind it lots, and I don't think it's that fun for some of you guys to sort of just repeatedly hear what I'm, hear the same thing over and over again. You need to leave work. See you later. Sorry, Melee Mage. Hopefully you'll be back. If not, have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time. Hey, Jesse Quill. I thought you were streaming. But yeah, so the basics of this game are that you have cards which represent different things. They could be funds, they could be health, they could be your job, they could be your cult. And you will mix them with verbs. Verbs are right now just work. So the game will sort of start you off with a job and a way to go to it. A precarious position as a hospital porter. Miserable, but it's all that you can find right now. Another shift, mopping the darkened hallways, delivering post to hollow-eyed invalids, trundling corpse-laden gurneys to the basement. And we begin. The audio sounds very, very low. I am genuinely curious. I haven't thought about this at all. Hello, the Eyes of Sin. All right, halfway through your shift, the head porter beckons you aside. We won't require your services any longer, he says. Here, your last payment. I've lost my job. At least now I have a little time to rest, and my health improves. Dream is now unlocked. We've gained my final payment and my health. So let's start by going to work. Unskilled labor, back-breaking work for meager pay. Is this the best I can do? Recall my dreams. It began when I spoke to the old man in the hospital. He knew my name, but he's dead now. The pneumonia. Why do I dream of him still? What is the cobalt light in my dreams? Time is now passing. I will collect passion and contentment. All right, let me just take a quick second here. So Jess, are you done your let me take a quick look. I want to see if you're done your cast. Oh, nope, she's still around. Okay. That was a very brief cast. And hello, Shortugan. We've got some wonderful people here. We've got Johnny Big Time, Melee Mage just stepped out. We've got Ego, we've got Eyes of Sin, and Jesse Quill. So I won't pause the game too much, but I'll take a minute to put things around. So as you can see, the game, this is one of the reasons why I like sort of the pacing of the trailer, is that you'll notice that things start things start happening rather quickly. Time is passing, and this game is really best played in real time, which sometimes makes it a little difficult for me, because obviously I take my time and I ramble too much. But the new alias of Trolldus, thank you very much. You got coffee? I call it Cultist Simulator, Johnny Big Time, but yeah, so time passes. I need funds to live, but perhaps this recent upset in my circumstances is secretly a blessing. Is there something to my dreams? There is change in the air. So hopefully the game, like, you guys can let me know how the game audio is, if you would, just so I can sort of gauge how everybody's sort of reactions are. But basically, this game is about sort of mixing these things up. So let's go down the moonlit road. The road crests on the hilltop, and the air is silver bright. Now I can add more to my dreams. Maybe contentment? Nope, can't put that there. This card must have at least one of these aspects: lore or weigh the wood. This, I think, is a change which is new to the Explorer's build. In this case, it's giving you a little bit more guide. This is one thing that I like. The heart, as much as I sorry guys, just one second. Where was I going? Where was I going with this? So it's as you've all seen me get super lost in this game. The day is done, but so am I. But I've earned my pay. Okay, so we'll collect health and funds. And I'm losing contentment because doing back-breaking labor tends to be one of those things that puts you in a sour mood. A bequest arrives, a letter from a solicitor. The old man at the hospital, the one I dream of, has named me in his will. I'll hear more soon. Rumpled fields, the wink of a river, and a tingling chill. So we've gained more contentment. Alright, so the bequest has arrived. The old man has bequeathed me a little money and a packet of peculiar papers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, there is some fuel for my reason, and we have unlocked the study. So the basic resources that you have are health, funds, passion, and reason, and I've got a bequest. Well, it's kind of already told me what to do. A package of peculiar papers from my correspondence executor. I must study it using either passion or reason. I'll examine each item with meticulous care. And you know what? Let's work with passion. So I'll paint. I've seen a curious beauty in the waking world and in my dreams. I might sell a painting. I probably won't. I have contentment as my inspiration. I recall something of the architecture of my dreams. So I wonder if I could dream of health. Nope. So about those, okay, I'm going to pause one more time just to talk a little bit about the rest of the changes I'm going to do in real time. But one thing I really like about what feels like a small change to it is that as lost as I get in the game, the heart and soul of it is exploration, the ability to try out different combinations and so on and so forth. And for those of you who have watched before, you sort of know how I talk a little bit about my studies, my academics, how I've got a ton of textbooks, but having the textbooks does not necessarily mean that doesn't necessarily mean that my my work or the research that I do is necessarily of the quality that the let's say the the number of textbooks is. So the volume of textbooks isn't necessarily equal to the insights that I derive from them. So this is a big thing, is that if you just go like this is a game that in one sense would strongly benefit a wiki because there's a lot of details in terms of like, what is the Mansis? What do all of these little bits of lore mean? So you can almost make like a comparison to Dark Souls or something like that, which is it doesn't think for you. It you need to do the work. You need to sort of build things up on your own. But in the other sense, it's a game that would not do well for a gameplay wiki, in my view, because if you let somebody else play the game for you, if you know what all the conclusions are, or you know what all the formulas are, you don't get that moment while the game just sort of seeps in your mind, and you know, you don't kind of get to appreciate, you don't get to drink it all in. So it's one of these games that, like, you know, you all know how much I hate backseating in that, but it really is a game that, you know, people should not be backseat during it, because it's totally denying them the experience, right? You don't, you know, when I was writing, you know, let's say my undergraduate thesis or something that like that, sure, I had an advisor, but they weren't sitting behind me saying is like, oh, you need to use that specification, or, you know, whatever, right? Like when you're looking at something that nobody else has seen before, or they've only seen and left you a little bit of a glimpse, you need to do it yourself, and that's a lot about what this game is about. But again, it is best done in real time. So while I'm paused, I'll read out the dialogue, and I'm gonna try and make this the last pause while I monologue. My correspondent describes my dreams exactly. They use names that are instantly familiar: the house, the wood, the hours, the glory. They knew secrets beneath time and the skin of the world. A new curiosity burns in me. There's a note here: directions to a bookshop that does not advertise its wares. Explore is unlocked. So we've gained the notes of a possible collaborator, directions to Moorlands. We've got the notion of enlightenment. So my correspondent has recorded his observations of me. He believed that I had potential. He recorded his observations of someone else too. With time and study, perhaps I can find that person. Cryptic directions to the obscure address of a certain moorland, a dealer in the rarer sort of book. We've got the notion enlightenment. It has occurred to me that I hold the key to wisdom. This makes enlightenment victory possible. Dreaming about it might advance or change it. We've gained a collection of essays. If the mind is a blade, this is a whetstone. Used with 3 erudition to gain reason. And finally, we've got my reason back. No live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under the conditions of absolute reality. Shirley Jackson. Obviously, there's aspect lantern and such that I'm ignoring as well, but I don't want to be too selfish with the pausing and reading. So how does one gain erudition, you might ask? Well, it doesn't tell you in the game, but let's study the directions to Moorlands, because that's what the game told us to do. By the way, to the person who said I have a rather nice way of putting out the cards. Oh, I have become unwell. If an illness cannot consume health, it will cause death. I decided I'm going to try a pattern resembling something that you were responsible for. So we'll see how it works out. An ill-lit street and an ill-favored bend in the lesser river. A soft yellow light through a grimy window. Miss Moorland nods as I enter, but she doesn't rise. I've never asked the names of my clients, she informs me, before I have time to introduce myself. So we've gained the location, Moorland's shop, and we've gained the exploration. So now that I've found a location, I can explore it. So we've gained glimmering and erudition, and we've got a painting of the outer mansis. Daylight should not touch this canvas. I'll get in trouble. And we've gained our passion back. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my reason to find clerical work. Find work which will spare my body, if not my mind, and not a moment too soon, because we are running out of money. The sickness has ravaged my body, and I've gained an affliction. Okay. Glover & Glover has offered me a junior position. I start at 8 sharp tomorrow morning, so we will take the junior position. I will not apply diligence, and instead, I will not use reason, but I will read whatever is to hand. The world is awash with printed words. Even the newspapers contain knowledge. Sometimes. A pleasant day. Some days are better than others. Sometimes the sky is nothing like a filthy sheet. Sometimes the river runs clear. So we've gained more contentment. I don't think I can put contentment into diligence. Nope, but maybe I can put it in exploration. 9! Can I dream about contentment? No, I cannot. But you know what? I can use my passion, and I can throw nothing else into it. What about erudition? Nope. Exotic cravings? What hungers drive me? Absolutely none. And I'm happy about that for now. So what I'm going to do, there's a couple things that I need to deal with right now. I need to deal with my affliction, but for my affliction I need money, and particularly I need to cover my day-to-day expenses. So we're just going to work our shift. The clerks file out in silence. I am free for now, and we will jump straight back into the working world. Oh no, I'm dropping frames. Sorry, guys. And we said we needed 3 erudition, so I'm going to throw my reason into that one more time. Now again, this is not exactly going to make me rich staying in the junior position, but of course I have the finite resource of erudition. This thing decays after a certain period of time. You can see the counters right now, so I want to be taking advantage of the of the bonus erudition I had right away, even if that means that I'm making a little bit less money in the in the immediate term. Can I do? I think I need to study this. So, and as you can see, the glimmering, I don't think I have much hope of working with, but I'll get my erudition in time for. All right. So again, basically just sort of subsistence. I'm not, if I get sick again, I'm dead. But this is keeping me afloat for now, and then I will be able to put my reason towards. Oh, didn't like that. Okay, I will apply extra effort. Perhaps they'll appreciate it. And in the meantime, we will study the collection of essays. We'll throw some erudition inside. Now, of course, the game does wonderful little visual cues, consumes its contents. It is an empty space which makes a bowl useful. Lao Tzu. Bleak thoughts, dark days. I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread or injury may provoke full-fledged despair. Well, fortunately, I don't have that, but let's get a little contentment in the... in my life, just in case. So I do need to get some money within 30 seconds, but I'll have that in a moment. Mr. Alden, the supervisor of records, has called me into his office to recognize my diligence. I watch the mole on his neck as he talks and talks and talks. But at the end of it, I have a promotion. My new position is better paid, and the desk stands by the street window. But I work directly for Mr. Alden now. Mr. Alden is known to be exacting. So we'll go back to work. I am better paid than I was, but Mr. Alden has taken an interest in me. Mr. Alden is very particular. Mr. Alden likes things done just so, and Mr. Alden has never believed that I am qualified for this position. Now, here's a big change. Trembling in the air, the sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. Interesting. The wolf despair prowls elsewhere. No dread or injury empowers this despair. It's over for now. All right, so let's take a minute. We'll go passion. Let's see if we can take that fleeting memory into bedtime. I cannot. I'm a little more than I was, so I've got additional reason. Now, it's very interesting. They've reworked Glover and Glover so that I can't immediately throw reason into that in advance. So what happens if I can't? Okay, can't put any reason in there. Fleeting memory. I don't think I have anything that I can feed into it. Fortunately, I'll get some money for my work just in the nick of time. What else can I do at the moment? Until I start making some money, I'm not going to be able to get anything from Moorlands, unfortunately, but... Oh, I do not believe you have properly understood the importance of our work here. This task will require your full attention. Add reason to satisfy Mr. Glover. Well, that is a shame. I believe I am dying because of Mr. Alden's demands on my attention. I don't think I'm going to be able to dream away the rumpled fields, wake of a river, tingling chill. Let's dream. I'm going to need 89. I'm not going to have any health to recover. What a shame. We'll jump back in. But yeah, this one's going to end in despair, unfortunately. Whenever the principle of lantern sheds its light, you may recall additional scraps of knowledge. We had an investigation before anything. What's that guy's name? Mr. Alden or John Apollo? John Apollo will be an ex-person in not too long. My body is dead. Where will they find me? I am not here. In the end, my strength was insufficient to sustain my failing heart. I was starving and had no health remaining. I should have ensured that I had money to purchase essentials. I could have used Dream to rest and recover from my weakness. So it's a nice little reminder in terms of how, how you can play the game. So, I don't know what name to give my next person. Franklin Butterpuss. I actually had one. All right, so we get to determine a legacy. Now, I'm going to do Aspirant again because I've been holding back Bright Young Thing and Physician. I've not touched either of these because I'd like to get a victory in Aspirant on stream before I go in on here. So hopefully before the game releases, we'll get a chance to see one of the other two. But all right, Bonnie. Oh, wait a minute. I think it's... Why can't I remember how to spell it? Agamemenon. Yeah. Right. I never should have doubted myself. And the writing really is wonderful, The Eyes of Sin. Now, I apologize. I should have done another shift mopping the darkened hallways, delivering posts to hollow-eyed invalids, trundling corpse-laden gurneys to the basement. All right, let's use our unskilled labor. While I'm retreading the old ground, let's take a minute to do some shout-outs. If Jess is in the area, I'd love it if you can get these shout-outs out of the way. Johnny Big Time was in here first, so I'd love to give him the love to begin with. Johnny is a wonderful caster. A guy's really open to new styles of games. He has recently been doing he'd been doing a God of War franchise playthrough and has been putting up with my less than respectful attitude towards the game. But that's the game's fault. He really does everything. He does everything well. If you guys have not checked him out, I strongly recommend it. He's an absolutely outstanding caster. He's got a great sense of humor. He's got a great camera presence and ability to sort of entertain, and where I sort of need to put my cast on hold and make my point, Johnny's able to kind of keep the action going. I could really learn a lot from him in terms of his ability to kind of keep the action going and make the cast fun to watch. So he is one of my highest recommendations on Twitch, and somebody who if he's ever online, I have to basically be working or like otherwise unable to attend, because he's somebody who I cannot get enough of watching, and just his ability to pick up new games, play them well, be able to cover them in an entertaining way. He's somebody who I really, like if I was responsible for sort of promoting games, he's somebody who I would give a key to, because I think he's able to find the fun in a game pretty much immediately, and like I said, it's an ability that I sort of wish I had myself. Not to be outdone, we have got Jesse Quill, who I don't think is around at the moment. Just cast for the first time in quite some time and gave me a nice little shout out. It's nice to hear that after after she's been gone for a while. I do sort of recommend her as a story-based caster, but it's important to remember she does a lot of IRL. She also does sort of a lot of, let's say, community service, whether it's to, hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Whether it's for, for streamers, whether it's for let's say, a charity organization, whether it's just sort of helping people find their feet. She's somebody who has, first of all, worked in a professional capacity in games. She's actually been responsible for a lot of very successful Oh, that's excellent news. I've got a free erudition, and after I get Moorlands, I'll have a second, so I'm going to try my luck. Thank you very much for the host, Jess. Is this because I'm saying nice things about you? All right, we're going to do unskilled labor one more time at the risk of... at the risk of hurting myself, just because if I can get this other erudition now down, I'm going to have a second reason, which will help me quite a bit. Mortal frustrations, as yet, I have only the needs and desires of any other mortal, but what stirs in me. But yeah, again, it's easy for me to say, you know, Jess is a story-based caster, but like I said, for those of you who enjoy when I talk about economics, for those of you who enjoy some of the political economy behind Crusader Kings or topics like that, Jess does a great job. She does it through her blogs, she does it through her IRL cast. She is somebody whose presence extends beyond her Twitch channel. And again, if she doesn't cast as much, it's because she has more important and other things going on in her life, but she's definitely somebody to be watched, and I would definitely recommend, watching her. And I'm sorry, as I've said, I don't know why my bot... Oh, I'm injured. I'll hobble painfully home with my wretched pay. All right, let's dream about the injury. And I have... my body's spent. I'm not able to earn any money, so let's take that collection of essays. We'll throw erudition in there, and I can use my reason to find work more fitting. What a wonderful little story. Bonnie Agamemnon was injured at work, and much like me, when I decided maybe film was not the best life choice for me, I turned around. Earn your living or practice your craft. The scratching of pens, the sourness of dust, the sighing of the younger Glover, the greeting gurgling of the elder. Let's throw our reason into there right away, because we learned what a lack of finances will do to our health. Incidentally, Jess has done Cultist Simulator before, but I would be particularly interested, especially if she goes beyond, let's say, the aspirant start. It would be kind of neat to hear her perspective on the game. Unfortunately, I was streaming myself when she did this game, so I haven't had the pleasure of hearing her take on it, but Jess's take on things is definitely a valuable one. You died within 3 days? Well, I mean, it's not... I'm a little more than I was, so we will be able to satisfy our demanding boss. What else can I do in my study? I could examine passion for some glimmering. Maybe we'll find something in Moorlands. Let's throw... okay, I've got my health. I'm going to hold off for now. I'd like to pick something up at Moorlands, but I want to make sure that my promotion does not deny me funding. It does not, so let's go to Moorlands. Let's see if we can get a book which will help me out. We'll throw ourselves back into work. Glover. I'm better paid than I was, but Mr. Alden has taken an interest in me. Mr. Alden is very particular. Mr. Alden likes things done just so, and Mr. Alden has never believed that I am qualified for the position. All right, the wrong kind of attention. The city is rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave me in peace? So let's hold off here. But yeah, like I said, I'd be particularly interested in hearing Jess's particular views on the wandering mind. There was once a man who said that the sleep of reason produced monsters. Often it is healthy to let the mind wander in sleep, but if I keep dreaming, sooner or later, some sort of monster will rise from my own fears. All right, so we gained a collection of essays. Good to know. I want to make sure that I keep some reason open to be able to satisfy my job at Glover and Glover. I've got my glimmering, which will burn up in a little bit, but I'm quite content with 44 seconds. Let's just hold off on that for a minute. Oh, moth is all over the place. Half glyphs with wistfulness. We've got more glimmering. We've got a peculiar rumor. I guess I don't want to zoom out too much, but I do kind of like going in close because I know it makes things a little bit easier to read. This desk is a mess. Dark days. I must be careful not to let doubts creep in. Dread or injury may provoke full-fledged despair. Apologies for those of you who... All right, well, I've got my 3 glimmering if I have the ability to... Oh, God. I would like to say that I'm disappointed, but my expectations for you were already low. I have no choice but to withhold a portion of your pay. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow, please. There are ways to deal with Mr. Alden. I completely neglected my job at Glover and Glover, and I paid the price, so... I left that reason open, but it didn't benefit me. Where's my other reason? Oh, the rain is coming, but the right kind of rain. And I neglected to pay attention to my dream as well. I was too busy daydreaming, didn't accomplish what I was looking for. I just messed it all up, so let's just do... yeah. And I got sick. All right. So, I may not get paid on time. That's fairly important. I definitely want to keep my reason open. Oop. The wolf despair prowls everywhere. No dread or injury empowers this despair. It's over for now. I really feel like I should be able to use a fleeting memory here, but apparently not. All right, let's try and get some order back on this table. Consumables here, or yeah, I'll say consumables here. All right. I do not believe that you've properly understood the importance of our work here. This task will require your full attention. Add reason to satisfy Mr. Glover. Okay, so I've gained a little more erudition. We'll throw this in. I am going to die again, I think. And that's totally my fault. All right, so I've got the affliction. Funds have been used up. Let's do our best with this. But yeah, I'm not going to get that health back for 46 seconds, so pleasant day. Fast forward. Hello, Albidon. I'm just mismanaging myself into oblivion. So goodbye, Bonnie Agamemnon. I'm sorry for not taking care of you. I was trying to shout out all these wonderful casters, and I've paid the ultimate price. Well, you've paid the ultimate price. I will still be here. On the note of Jesse Quill's charity work, I did also want to point out that that was how the Eyes of Sin found us. Eyes of Sin has just recently moved, and she's got access to a good computer right now. So we're probably going to see a little bit more gaming from her or some other content. I'm looking forward to myself. She's a very talented artist for those of you who are sub to the channel, and we're back to double digits, which I was very happy about. Thank you for that. She is the one who is responsible for the emotes that you see. And I will say, for those of you who subscribe at the $5, Jess has definitely done that. For those of you who would like to use a smart emote, we've got Machiavelli right here. And then because I want the financial incentive to be for you talking about how smart I am, I get the dumb emote, although you can pay, I believe, $25 a month for the right to call me an idiot. Let's begin another descent. So, Aspirant again, because apparently it's just too difficult for me to handle any of this. And let's call him Hector. And this time I'm going to try a different placement of the icons. By the way, Jeff, in your professional opinion, what do you think of the quality of the Cultist Simulator trailer? One idiot can ask more questions than 10 wise men can answer, System Chalk. Just remember that. Well, it's also important to remember that true knowledge is knowing that you know nothing. Incidentally, it's not necessary for me to work this way, because the bequest will usually give you enough money to run by. But I don't like being idle in this game, so. Now, out of curiosity, how many of you are coming to this game for the very first time, and how many of you have seen this before and want to see what's new in the Let's move this a little closer to the center. Bequest arrives, a letter from a solicitor. The old man at the hospital, the one I dream of, has named me in his will. I will hear more soon. So yeah, I'm a little curious how many of you have seen Cultist Simulator before and are looking forward to seeing what's in the new Explorers build, and how many of you are coming to this for the first time. I should say that the one thing that's nice about this is that the way that Twitch decides whether or not something gets its own category is whether or not it's listed on Giant Bomb. So really all that the new category has meant is that Cultist Simulator is now listed on Giant Bomb. I don't think it's a coincidence that this lines up with the game getting a release date. But one way or the other, I mean, I never had any difficulty with people finding the game, and frankly, under games and demos, I think more people were exposed to the game than than would have been. So Ruskin82, thank you very much for that follow. So the I actually don't necessarily think it's necessarily that bad for a game to spend some time in games and demos, just simply because you think of the number of people, especially if you came from this cast. This would be wonderful feedback, by the way, because it's an absolute delight to be able to show people new games and maybe I don't know, kind of connect that way. The one thing that I will say, the experience of following Cultist Simulator, and it's nice because for those of you who watch on Twitter, obviously Alexis Kennedy and Lottie Bevan are both reasonably active tweeters, and they, it's just been fun sometimes to have a little bit of back and forth, usually when I'm being very silly. But what's neat sort of about this experience overall is it's led to a few decisions on my part to do things like seek out the sort of a local game development collective. That's been quite rewarding. The fact of the matter is there are people behind these games. There are people making them, and it is obvious, and it's obvious to say that. It's very easy to forget. And so I think one big thing for me has been this experience of sort of, finding not just a game, but some very decent people behind it, and sort of seeing the growth of this studio, which is intended for experimental games to come along. So I don't know. I was going somewhere with that, and I totally lost the plot, but it is a nice chance for me to say that there are some very nice people who have made this game. And I would definitely encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. Oh yeah, it was about finding games and demo. But one second, you're neither clever nor wise, but you do have eyes, and though you do not always make sense of it, you do like to observe. All right, sorry I didn't give that the time it deserves, Sin, but time waits for no man, including Hector. So I should be able to survive this sickness fairly without too much difficulty. I am sort of tempted to throw reason inside of here, but good indie trailer seems like an oxymoron to you. You've seen worse trailers before, but when you think very effective trailers, you think of Skyrim, World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade, and some Hearthstone trailers. I talked about this a little bit before. The one thing that I really do enjoy about the Cultist Simulator trailer, it's the thing I'm failing to convey right now. I definitely know it was a quote, Isaacson. But one big thing for me that I thought the trailer did very well was to try and communicate a little bit about what's going on in your head while you play the game. Again, it's definitely a game that's not for everyone. But we already saw a few. There's a little bit of a story that we can already build into this game, right? So with that character, they got injured, and it just so happened to be that was the time that they started looking for a new job. That's not unlike what happens to people in real life. There have been cases where I've been investigated for something. And despite the fact I was never found guilty of anything, the suspicion actually led to me going to jail just because sort of suspicion stacked on suspicion, and there was nothing I could do about it. I thought that was a really interesting thing. There's a lot of little, I don't even know if I should call them sort of emergent stories that come out, but it's really interesting. So there's a couple things that I think interest me about the way that this game works. You can first of all look at, so the first version of this game was quite simple, but you can sort of see where they were going with it. And what's neat is the decision in terms of the verbs and such. I'm sorry, I really should have read the story for that, but I'm kind of babbling, and I know there's some content that we've gone through already, so I don't feel quite as bad burning through a bit of it. I'll have 2 reason in a minute. I don't know if I quite want to start buying things at Moorlands, but you know what? I think I'm going to risk it. So let's go explore Moorlands. Throw some... Oh, you know what? We're a little short on money. Let's hold off on buying books. I'm not as irresponsible with my funds in Cultist Simulator as I am with in real life. But yeah, so you've got a number of verbs and you've got a number of objects, you know, necessities and... Well, these are the necessities and conveniences of life. Whoa! Okay, I need to move that, move this timer down here just so I have something a little more in my face. Okay, so Mr. Alden gets his reason. And let's go to the study instead. We'll find the notes on a potential collaborator. I have a name, a description, a few tantalizing details, but there are 1,000 faces in this city. All right, so I definitely need to get paid. But yeah, so, I mean, again, there's, it's not just that there are sort of meanings behind the cards. On this occasion, I've determined that your work is of an acceptable standard. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow, please. Onward and upward in the job. Okay, so we've got a minute. I think I'm going to risk a trip to Moorlands. Oops. Add to your library. It takes time to sort the gold from the dross, the wheat from the chaff, the blood from the water. If I buy enough books, I'll find something interesting. All right, and now I have an address. I'll dispatch a letter and propose a meeting. Talk is unlocked. So I've gained mystique. Wait an answer to a letter. There's other things I could be doing with my reason right now. Let's try dreaming, the wandering mind. There was once a man who said that the sleep of reason produced monsters. Often it is healthy to let the mind wander in sleep, but if I keep dreaming, sooner or later some sort of monster will rise from my own fears. The city is rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave me? Oh! Someone is meddling. Oh dear. Alright, you found something noteworthy, so we have gained the humors of a gentleman. And we've got Sylvia, an acquaintance. Sylvia lost her eye in the wood. Let's just take a minute here. Sylvia lost her eye in the woods when she was 9 years old. Every year at Candlemas, she returns to the place she buried it. You might be able to recruit this acquaintance as a follower. The reply to your letter is courteous, if cautious. They are intrigued by how you found their name, intrigued enough to meet you. There's always someone who doesn't understand, or who understands too well. This troublemaker may seek evidence of my activities to share with the authorities. Wakefield! On this occasion, okay, yep. Work's done well. I think I'm going to hold off on getting any more books, but we can study the humors of a gentleman, unlock books and other treasures, peruse Savage's The Humors of a Gentleman. By the end of the first act, oh yeah, so Samuel Savage's satirical comedy on the intrigues of the ailing but cunning John's son, his mistress Mavelyn, her lover Leo, and the upstart Corvino. By the end of the first act, Mavelyn has revealed a secret door in the walls of the house to Leo, and Corvino is taken to consuming worms. You did the Eyes of Sin. That's one of the other things that's kind of fun about following this game is you get a... Oh. There's probably stuff that happened in the dream that I missed out on, so I will pay it a little more close attention. But yeah, so one of the things that I think is so interesting about it is that the choice of verbs and the cards and the combinations sort of there's more and more that comes from this. The complexity of the game goes up, and in one sense, like, so it's like you write a card, but the possibilities that open, there's 4 or 5 different paths, and of course, because this game, as Eyes of Sin pointed out, you know, the writing in it is really, really something special. You get this really interesting. I don't know quite how to put it, but on this occasion, I've determined your work is of an acceptable standard. You may go. Be punctual tomorrow, please. We will be punctual indeed. Not quite ready to throw something at it yet. Again, not buying any books because I do need to recover my health. Play is scabrous and occasionally hilarious. The characters are contrary and capricious. Many of the more resonant lines might well be formulae of power disguised in plain sight. Okay, so let's nurse my affliction. Oop, I gained vitality, which is good news. So I've gained the Watchman's Secret. We'll put that over to the side. Vitality, I believe if I study that with some funding. I am abrim with vitality. If I can afford to pay the club fees, I may grow my strength or learn something of myself, but I might come to harm. Now I've got 30 seconds. Let's wait until I have a little bit more money. Vitality should be up for a little while. I'm not depressed, so that's good news. Yeah, especially because I need to pay for my medicine a little bit. Right. And as always, we sacrifice our reason in the name of work overtime at Mr. Alden's assistance. The work is complete when I have assessed the work is complete, and not before. I trust we understand each other. Alright, wrong kind of attention. The city is rife with journalists and detectives and other meddlers. How long will they leave me in peace? They will never leave me in peace. And I've never actually found a good way to deal with Wakefields, but fortunately we don't have any clues to worry about. So, got some money. Let's throw that into the mix. Need that right away. Let's go back to work immediately. Oop. I'm better paid than I was, but Mr. Alden has taken an interest in me. Mr. Alden is... Oh yeah, we've covered that before. I could talk with Sylvia, but it's very possible that I will get something nasty as a result. So we'll hold on. That's not how I meant it. We'll hold off until I'm able to sort of sustain these things. We are the sum of our deeds. That is the basis of any accounting. Watchman's Secret has been expressed like this. Each hour has its color, but color exists only where there is light. This is the aspect of a lantern. Life is a pure flame, and we live by an invisible sun within us. Thomas Brown. Lantern is the principle of the secret. A secret place sometimes called the House of the Sun, and the light above it. All right, so... Fine with mortal frustrations. Inspector Wakefield hasn't found anything because he's a terrible detective. And I will leave the Watchman's Secret to the side for now. Okay, we're probably going to have to sacrifice reason in the name of overtime. And let's see now, 32 seconds. I've got enough time to wait for the vitality. So I'm going to... extra health will definitely prevent me from being... dying like before. This counter seems off. But this does mean we're going to be sitting down and watching for a little bit. Alright, so vitality. It's going to be tight, but I think I can manage. System coal. That's a very good coinage. It's a very good coinage, Jesse Quill. I believe I will need to steal that. You know, it's possible that this is already counting the revenues that I'll get from the overtime. Arrange a meeting with Wakefield. Zachary Wakefield, a melancholy but remorseless inspector of police. He has recently been seconded to the Suppression Bureau. The trembling in the air, the sun flickers like a shadow, dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. You know, I never did see what happened when something became open here, so Mr. Alden wants me to work overtime again. I will... Oh. Couldn't afford the club fees another time. Ah, it ripped the club fees straight out of my... Okay, we'll go back to the dueling club because in 16 seconds we will have enough. I gained a fleeting memory. And contentment, but I don't think any of that will help. We'll see. This is a terrible summary of what Cultist Simulator is like. But we are sort of retreading ground that we covered a little bit before, so you must forgive me if I'm sort of rushing through some of it. I just kind of want to get to a point where we're maybe coming in, if not new territory, at least territory we haven't seen tonight. But we should be in good hands there. Personally, I've always found it beneficial to hold off on finding followers to avoid somebody like Wakefield showing up. Down I go into Hirschalt's nightmare. I believe I'm going to be gaining some dread. Oh, got an injury. Oh, no! That was supposed to help me. I remember that Hirschalt wrote of this. I've layered up the floorboards and wriggled down snugly. Now I am compressed beneath them like a hidden corpse. The air stinks of hot dust. My mouth is full of splinters. This time I haven't learned what I hoped to learn, whatever that was. All right, so let's put some attention towards it. Things are looking a little grim for us at the moment. I've seen too much. A nameless gnawing fear has its teeth in my hopes, an existential horror. Clear my mind. Was I different before? So, reminders. Do I have contentment? I do not. What a shame. Okay, we'll continue to ply our trade. I need to put... Yeah, everything wants contentment. Oh, this is probably gonna hurt soon. Despair is the wolf that devours thought. You can defeat despair by feeding it contentment, otherwise it will destroy you when it reaches 3 dread or injury. I wonder if I get the injury back, because I was supposed to get health out of that. Otherwise I just burn money for no reason. Again, we're gonna hold off a little while because it's very likely that Alden will want us to work some more overtime. But I do know I'm going to be dreaming about passion for the next little while. So we don't really have much that we can do with the Watchman's Secret. I need to throw something else inside there. I mean, I can try it here more, you know. But at the moment, it's just kind of hanging out. Okay. So Albadon had mentioned... Ooh. Oh no. Yeah, so we're just going to keep churning out as much passion as I can muster. So there may be a way that I can particularly impress Alden, but right now it sort of seems, you know, I mentioned so many times that it was too easy to get so much money. Well, I got what I asked for, I guess. Okay, 40 seconds. I am tempted to risk another trip to Moorlands just so we can get a little more progress on studying the glorious lore. Oh yeah, if I get another injury, I'm in deep trouble. Unreason, time, and pace may restore me. Aspect Ed. Oh, it's all so miserable. I almost certainly am going to lose that injury. Alright, another collection of essays, which is not bad on its own, although perhaps a little disappointing, given... you know, given the fact that I'm hoping for some lore. But we can go to the study to read whatever's to hand. I've got more contentment, which hopefully we can feed this. And actually, it's not bad. I think I'm going to probably try and continue on a cycle of making sure that I have some contentment. Contentment in hand. Sun flickers like a shadow. Dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Okay, I don't have any fascination, which is good. Let's jump back into Glover and Glover. Nothing for me to throw into bedtime at the moment. It won't accept reason. Oh, but it will accept the Watchman's secret. I could sleep in a room without colors, bleach the sheets, whitewash the... Hello! I said I wasn't going to pause. Color exists only where there is light, and the wood is the place where the light does not walk. In the dream, I close my eyes and walk, stumbling, bruising my feet and knees. At last, the undergrowth before me grows too thick to pass. And when I open my eyes, I am adrift among black trees. Shadows flutter. My feet will know the way back to this place. So we've gained the wood, the wood, a buzzing in the brain. We get our Watchman's secret back and passion. Let's go and go for that contentment. I'm going to take more reason to get my erudition up so that I can hit the books. Oh yeah, I can't use the fleeting memory for that. Alright. Desk is getting messy again. Throw your reason into it. Buzzing in the brain. Ingirum imus nocte consumi snip snip snip. A second order influence apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable to the adept. And that is influence and aspect moth. Okay, so another fleeting memory. I now pass between the scar-bark trees. The moon passes behind the branches through her fingers. Though her fingers remain in my hair, I am stumbling over roots now. It is tempting to drop to all fours to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move deep in. Hello! My God, this is pretty. I like this a lot. Oh my God. All right. Oh no, no, I want to go back. Okay, that's fantastic. And I really like that they brought back, I'm pretty sure that's Ligeti. Unfortunately, I have gotten sick, so I have not enough erudition, and I'm not going to have enough money in a little bit. Oh, you want to be sniper, do you, Johnny? It's on. Okay, Albadon, you mentioned that you were new. Actually, while you guys are, while we're all at this, I'm obviously going to be waiting a little while for some of these events to go through. So do any of you have questions about... Oh, Jesus Christ. Unexpected news conference. A furtive truth, a detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak where this may be overheard. Exploring with this card of knowledge may uncover secret locations in the Shires. Ah, okay. I'm gonna have to learn how this map... Oh, I took the furtive truth. Cool. Yeah, that's not particularly surprising. I was talking with Jess about this before, and I don't think she likes my... I don't think she likes my calls on... on where all that's going. Anyways, we're living in fictional worlds, so we don't have to... So we don't have to deal with that nonsense. Okay, so we're gonna keep the wood in our back pocket. Furtive truth, a small detail smuggled in from an adjacent narrative. Don't speak where this may... Oh yeah, we've already got that. Light in the skull. Whenever the principle of lantern sheds its light, I may recall additional scraps of knowledge. right, so I don't seem to be able to break the chain of low-paid overtime at Glover and Glover. That's going to be a problem that I need to deal with. Let's throw some money in for nourishment, although I think, yeah, my day-to-day needs are going to gobble that up, unfortunately. Okay. So I've got additional reason, which is nice, although it's not exactly what I need at the moment. Nope, more sickness. Although fortunately we had something to give that, so. And 24 seconds will be able to cover our living costs. I can try combining a Watchman's Secret. So one of the problems for me is that the Watchman's Secret, or the Lantern ones, used to eat the other bits of lore. Now I think I know how the lore works now, but I am going to try some of these combinations. This project has possibilities when research requirements appear. Okay, sorry, I really need to make sure I'm making enough money, so. Alright, so... Sorry, I'm rather ill-advisedly checking Twitter to see if I can get any snippets of the contents of... Oh, could use more reason, we'll throw that in. I forgot, I'm actually going to need to, I'm going to need to dedicate resources to this, and I'm probably going to need some glimmering. Okay. So one of the things, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the way that research works in this, because it feels like it's random. It may be that my perception of it is wrong. But it sort of feels like some of the extras are randomly determined. Okay, let's get nourishment. Let's go back to work. I'm not going to feed reason to this. Well, actually, it depends how long it'll take. I think I will feed reason to it if it asks, but... let's probably... Okay. But yeah, sometimes like I'll get to this point, and if it says like you need glimmering or something like that, I'm going to be super upset because I'm not going to be able to deliver on it. Right. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going for it. Oh, my pay might get docked though. Fortune favors the bold. Oh, but it'll done. No, it won't be done in 28 seconds because it's got another cycle to go through here. But we'll see. I may need to invoke the pause button in order to. Yeah, I'm not going to get my reason back. Sorry, Mr. Alden. Oh, let's put my passion into this. I didn't even think. This is one thing that I've not been paying attention to, which is what I can take. All right, let's see what he says. I would like to say that I'm disappointed, but my expectations of you were already low. I have no choice but to withhold a portion of your pay. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow, please. All right, so he didn't like passion. False turns in the labyrinth. Well, screw you. Sadly, I can't afford a new book. But let's see what happens with passion and furtive truth. I don't even know how I'm organizing these things anymore. But yeah, so I think one of the drawbacks I've encountered right now is because I've lost sort of my exploit. Well, it's not really an exploit, but because I've lost my usual means of like just getting out of control with money, I'm a little more reluctant to buy books, especially because I get sick as often as in the earlier versions of the game. And it's funny because I think I was like this in Sunless Sea as well, which is the whole point of that game. And the way to get success and the way I started enjoying the game more was by taking risks. Right. What do I want to do? Got reason I can apply to this, but I'm not going to have enough money for survival, so we'll hold off for another round. But yeah, so because I've sort of lost my means of... Hang on. Oh no, there's the Watchman's Secret. Yeah, let's put them over to the side. I've sort of found myself on a little bit of a plateau here, just because again I'm getting sick. I'm needing to dedicate resources elsewhere, and because I know the penalty for not managing the funds is so steep, I'm not quite ready to push the boat out a little bit further than I might normally. But we should be able to get back on track before too long. Obviously, if you want, I can try and talk a little bit more about kind of how I think the game works. We didn't have to do overtime that time. That's good to know. We've got 24 seconds for... right. Orders military to launch precision strikes against Syria. Okay. Sorry, I know that's not going to make it for fun viewing, but... Okay. No reason I shouldn't put money into this. Wakefield's still gonna find nothing. What can I do with a fleeting memory? Moment of time, in another moment it will be gone. Well, let's see if studying furtive truth with a fleeting memory. Nope. Nothing. Well, I mean, I can talk a little bit about it here. So, like, obviously, this is, there's been a little bit of a roadblock to how I normally kind of got through the game. Ah, interesting. So, Mr. Alden has found nothing to criticize about my work today. He does not look up as I leave. All right, so I think just sheer determination is what's going to carry me through this. I do actually like, so while it doesn't make for the most exciting stream material, I actually like this touch. Because what it does is it really does force you into a decision between whether you want to pursue your passion as a cult leader or whether you're going to wind up spending too much of your time working for someone else. And I think that's very close to sort of what the game is about at its core. Like I've said before, like I think this game, a part of this game, you know, sure, you can play this, you know, villain in a, you know, okay, so I'm going to come clean with you. It's easy for me to say, because other people have said this, you get to play the villain in a Lovecraft story. The problem is I haven't read any H.P. Lovecraft stories. I know what Lovecraftian means. I know the general feeling, but I don't like talking about this as if, oh, do not believe that you've properly understood the importance of your work. The work is complete when I have assessed it. The work is complete and not before. I trust that we understand each other. All right, so I got a grammar book, which is not spectacular right now, but we'll work through it. Yeah, I'd be I'd have bleak thoughts if I was working overtime at the bank too. Oh, I've already lived that. But yeah, like I you know, the cult thing here is, so I am going to repeat myself here, but it is that thing inside you that you want to bring into the world. Körner and Goethe's Auftrag Grammatik der Griechen Sprachen. You know, and again, it could be a story that you want to write. It could be a painting that you want to make. It could be, you know, an academic paper. It could be any of those things. Actually, there's something a little bit more. What do I need to do, Ego? I think one of the things that... oh, you mean read the books? Yes. Well, I have At the Mountains of Madness at my in my collection, but I there's just other stuff that keeps coming. Like, there's lots of really good books that I haven't read yet, including textbooks. But yeah, the problem is that I play stuff that people call Lovecraftian. That's so interesting. It says I'm allowed to put passion in. Oh, you know what? Maybe the passion didn't get assigned. No, I'm pretty sure it did. I have gained Scholar Greek, a determined but distinctive tongue, but I have a measure of it. All right. There may be ways to deal with Mr. Alden. There's got to be some combination that I can do. To move this along. All right. I should be able to make a trip to Glover and Glover. Oh, sorry, Moreland's shop, not Glover and Glover. All right, I was going... Oh, yeah. So, and there's actually one thing that I'll add to that, which is I've been reflecting a little bit on what I mean when I say that, because I think to a certain extent there might be... So let's take... So we're on Twitch. So one thing that tends to come up is either a very famous caster or a game designer. And what may be driving the desire to... Oh, we've got Day Horace, but unfortunately I know Greek, not Latin. Alden wants additional reason. He will have it, and I will have enough money to pay my expenses. Just trying to think what else I can do. It's not a follower, so I can't get them to explore. Let's try seeking out others with knowledge. Okay, so can I talk? No. Can I study? No. Can I dream? No. I will try to pick up another book fairly soon. But yeah, so one of the things is that I think it could be that this desire to a certain extent is the respect of others, right? So you play a game, you really like it, you admire the people who made it, or you like the fact that people speak so highly of the people who've made the game or the caster or something like that. And so it turns out that, you know, the thing that you are trying to bring into the world is not necessarily, like, it's not necessarily the game or the play. Instead, you are pursuing that because you think it's a means to some other satisfaction in your life, perhaps, that you feel that you've not been able to connect with people in a way that you... oh, I've gained notoriety. That's going to be a problem. Let's see if I can discuss occult business. That's not what I want to do. I'm going to try and spike this thing as soon as I can. So he obviously wants more overtime. Wouldn't expect anything less. I'm pretty sure this is going to wind up hurting me. But so why am I going on all of this? Ooh, that's gonna be ugly. Yes, I definitely can't afford to put passion towards this right now. I can put passion towards it when I can afford to only get the one wealth in the cycle. Once again, I've determined your work is an acceptable standard. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow. Okay, no trip to Moorlands because I need to take care of my health. Well, oh, there was something I was going to do with work. That was stupid of me. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna change my mind because I already ruined the way I was gonna spend this turn. Is there anything I can do about probably talking about found a mystical organization? Excellent. I need assistants, companions, followers. I must give them something to follow: a society, a sodality, an order, a cult. Tradition and compulsion, old, new, both together. I'll need lore to determine the founding principle of the cult. Alright, so the Watchman's Secret. We've established the Mirror of Glory, an occult society dedicated to understanding of the light that leaks from a fiercer place. And I'm curious if I can found more than one cult. Let's use my notoriety. Oh, nope, I can't. Let's throw reason into this. So I've gained a book. I'll find out what it is. The Orchid Transfigurations, also in Latin. Contentment. In 15 seconds, I'll be good. An occult society dedicated. Okay, so let's just take a minute here. Mirror of Glory. Sylvia. Ceremony. Sorry, I'm gonna cheat for a second here and pause. To recruit a novice, you need sufficient fear or awe. The higher mysteries require deeper oaths. So this, oh, damn it. Trappings. Summoned, influence, tool, or ingredient. I don't have any money. Unless somehow... Oh, nope, everything got eaten up. Okay. Nothing I can do about that right now, so let's go back to work. Sorry for pausing, but... I really need to find a way to burn up the notoriety before an investigation happens. I don't think that will happen, though. And unfortunately, this is going to burn up. Oh, the timer's always 1 minute. No. So the notoriety is a fantastic example of a card that has a timer of more than a minute. But yeah, so in this case, it really it is that true path. And I mean, again, I'm not a self-help author, so I'm not even going to tell you that everybody has something special about themselves. Although to a certain extent, I really do. I think I'm almost going to take kind of a platonic view on this, which is that because just because you haven't necessarily recognized. It's easy to be misled, or it's easy to go down the wrong path in terms of finding out either what will make you happy or fulfilled, or what your quote-unquote calling is, however you want to look at it. It strikes me as it's actually probably more likely that you will go down false turns. It's more likely that you're going to make mistakes and you're going to pursue things that maybe aren't ultimately towards your betterment. And that's, again, it's one of the reasons why I think this game is sort of wiki-proof in terms of solutions, because if you just sit down and say it's like, okay, well, if you want to recruit someone to the Mirror of Glory, you need to to mix this with this and this and this and this and this and this and damn it. Well, still not getting better. It's not the point. I started off as a camera assistant, reasonably happy doing the job. Something changed, and now I'm an economist. And it's not necessarily for the better in some people's opinion. But this is a game where I think making mistakes, while it creates some difficulty in terms of me trying to engage for the full duration, I wouldn't have it any other way. I really do like the fact that this game lets you explore and lets you appreciate the quality of the work and the writing and such. So I'm going to be smart and not buy a book at Morelands because it'll want to be fed. I think I'll make another trip to the wood. I think I'm also starting to skip over some of the dialogue. So, an occult society dedicated to the understanding of the light that leaks from a fiercer place. You can use cults with the talk verb to recruit or promote followers and send them out on errands to gather resources. A believer can be promoted to a disciple, and a few gifted disciples can be exalted even higher to seers. Yeah, so I would want to recruit her this way. The ceremony would require, well, let's say that we combine it with the Watchman See, okay? Let's see what I can do with money. So the Mirror of Glory, Sylvie, Watchman's Secret, and if we put money into the problem, nope, they don't want money. So summoned, influence, tool, or ingredient. Thank the maker. Okay, I've got healing. All right, against my better judgment, I'm going to discuss occult business with Sylvie. The potential drawback is that this won't work, and I will be caught up in Wakefield's net. I'm afraid sometimes that they can see what I am, as one sees ink coiling under glass. Pleasant day. So I think there's something I need to push Mr. Alden over the edge with. It's not immediately apparent to me what that is. Okay, so we'll take a minute here to try and induct. Speak of esoteric matters, I might find a useful contact to improve my reputation, or I might draw the wrong kind of attention. Well, we've already got notoriety. And I'm also sick again, so... Alright, so no notoriety to improve my cult. I probably should have used that for... Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's 2 notoriety. I'm screwed. All right. In for a penny, in for a pound. If I get arrested, this is entirely my fault. The only drawback, of course, is that I think some of you guys will be lost. Now, I mean, I sort of ruined this too. So if people are watching through YouTube, I know that probably I will have converting clues to evidence. Rumors spreads on the rooftops, flutters and gutters. This hunter is making progress in their investigation. Okay, let's see what happens here again. Card, an awareness of appetite. Every sense is heightened, every sensation deepened, a second order influence apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable to an adept. So I think the idea here, so I sort of feel like probably different pieces of lore are going to give me access to these different points. And I'm able to take from the Temple of the Wheel an awareness of appetite. And yet I don't see it on the table. Ah, here it is. I probably should have read the text for that. Okay. I'm certain that my adversary has lodged a copy of their notes elsewhere, or with their solicitor, with their superior, or even with a contact in the press. This is troubling. Alright, so I've gained mystique. Not what I need, though. Unless... no. Okay. Affliction. We're okay for money now, so I think we'll burn a bit of cash at Moreland's. Off to the gym. Talk to you when you get back. All right. Hopefully, I'll have some new stuff to show you, Jeff. So yeah, one of the. I mean, I started off thanking the people on YouTube for watching, and then I'm doing a cast which is not particularly suited to YouTube, but I'll try and talk a little bit about more about the game. So, I mean, again, I do take that the cult idea as just a particularly interesting I mean. It's obviously very creative. We gain the Skeleton Songs, poems of greedy delight, composed by possibly pseudonymous Arbella Dusk, the rumored heiress turned madam turned poetess. All right, gives me something to study. We'll, of course, apply our reason to Mr. Alden. I think, so I suspect the ways that you deal with Mr. Alden. In Arbella's introduction, she explains that the book was to be illustrated, but that the Suppression Bureau would not permit it. She hints that the illustration still exists somewhere. The book is dedicated to Sir Percival of the Red Cup. Okay. So I suspect the ways that you deal with Mr. Alden are probably... attached to the way that to your sort of your progress as a cult founder, which is, again, it's one of these nice things that stops me from just sort of sitting down and getting my earthly house in order before undertaking any occult activities. Now I definitely got that red. Where'd you go? Ah, here we are. Okay, so awareness of appetite. Ah, influence. Every sense is heightened, every sensation deepened. A second order influence apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable to an adept. All right, so, and we've gained the red secret, the 26 delightful fruits, the 7 chastisements, the 9 gardens, the 4 regrets. Cool. All right, so we need to dedicate some reason to Mr. Alden's insistence. I'll actually just take a quick second here. Can I put... Nope. If I wanted to be particularly cheeky, I'd throw some lore in there, but let's... Okay, I'm going to divide my attentions across 2 tasks. So we're going to go back to the woods to get some more cool stuff, and we're also going to see if we can do something about the Mirror of Glory. So, Sylvia! No luck, huh? I can see why, because it's not lantern. Oop. Job's already done. So we'll go back to Glover and Glover. What do we have here? Back to the way, back to the wood. I do actually, so one thing that I like about it, even though I have a little bit of a pause in terms of my progress, I sort of like the fact that I'm encouraged to keep going back to my dreams, because I thought that was one aspect of the game that was a little bit underutilized. Like, it was clear, there we go. All right, more furtive truth, so nothing too exciting. Perhaps I should start exploring to see if there are ways through things such as the spider door or the white door, so I'll take a furtive truth back, although I don't think it'll give me much. This is Secret Histories 4. So if I take my passion and apply it to a red secret. Oh, what am I doing? I need to heal. Okay, I'll set aside the tentative evidence for now. A decision that I'm sure I will regret. But yeah, so it was very clear from sort of the writing that there was a degree of importance on the dreams, but this idea of like the map really makes all the difference in terms of being able to sort of see, yes, there's something that I draw out of this, and it's leading me forward. An echo, resonance, and alignment, something that will fade soon. Okay. Nothing special. But I do have the money to take care of my sickness. Once I get my health back, then I can start going back to Moorlands. What else do I want to try and get? I'm okay. I don't have anything else that Wakefield's going to use against me for now, so we're back to a holding pattern. I suppose I can start combining some of these things here. I'm going to get myself a couple of Erudition and Glimmering before I start combining these things. Now again, what I'm particularly looking for is Forge. Forge is an aspect of sort of building things, and you might reasonably expect that that's where you're going to get sort of rituals and whatnot from. Unfortunately, I don't have Forge yet, so right now I'm just going to be kind of puttering around trying to get my house in order. So I'll try and talk a little bit about why the current... So I mean, the one challenge here is that I know that I've sort of got my baseline of viewership here, or people who might be kind of curious in terms of Cultist Simulator, but there's a couple of things that are interesting to play this build versus some earlier ones with. What really interests me here is that so even though this is, like, it sort of feels like there's a bit of a hold going on, I feel like this stall that I've gotten, it's actually giving me a few more opportunities to do, like, to kind of do this exploration. Yes, it means that I'm not going to Moorlands and, like, buying the place out right away. But it also means that I'm doing a little bit more like, oh, okay, let's go back to the wood and see if we can find anything new. Oh, hang on. It's giving me, one of the things that's really interesting about this is that I'm noticing that I'm just generally trying more stuff. So the ceremony definitely has to be lore. I'm going to try the Watchman's Secret, but I'll actually try some alternatives as well. So if I put the buzzing and the brain in, that's not going to work out for me. And if I put the furtive truth in, that's not going to work out. If I put the red secret in, that's not going to work either. Okay, well, we'll get our money back. All right, so gain some more erudition. Let's get a little bit of glimmering, and then I'll start looking at these things. I've got a collection of actually, that's great. So some more glimmering. I'll also be able to put it towards. I'll be able to put it towards. Towards additional passion, which I am short on at the moment. But yeah, so one of the things that I like is that even though I'm holding back a bit in terms of progress, I just sort of feel like I'm using this time and I have enough opportunities to start exploring more combinations, which is how I think this time is supposed to be used. And it might just be sort of my experience with the game that's leading me to do that. But I really do start to feel that because I know I'm not immediately just jumping into the stratosphere at Glover and Glover. I know I put my passion. So, oh yeah, my passion's here. Who wants reason? Oh. Old, unhappy, far off things. Okay, let's take another trip to the wood. Dull minds are neither intuitive nor mathematical. Blaise Pascal. Okay, what was I gonna do? Well, let's go for broke. Red Secret and the Furtive Truth. Okay, so we've got some additional glimmering. We got some money. Can take another trip to Moorlands now. Just enjoying watching the story unfold as you work on things. You think you actually have to play this in order to get a proper understanding of it. Definitely so. I'm not particularly casting it that well tonight, I don't think. So part of the blame on this is for me. But again, the game is told through these little fragments of information. Right? The writing is nice and terse. Oh God, I forgot. I think I'm going to hold off on going to the woods. Traveling at Night, Volume 2. Okay, that gives me something to study when I'm back. But yeah, like a big part of this game is... again, so you can look at individual cards and you can say, okay, you know, this is my tentative evidence card and I don't like that, and this is my work card. I'm just going to keep doing this until, you know, forever. But that's not the interesting way to look at this. The idea behind this is the ideas that go on in the back of your head while playing it, and saying, it's like, okay, does this combination make sense? What am I missing? Why haven't I figured this thing out yet? Right, additional reason. Maybe they've gotten rid of the glimmering and erudition requirements. We haven't seen that yet, so... So you sort of, you see these, you know, you see these little fragments of a world, and you see a lot of very suggestive writing, but a lot is sort of left for you to sort of pick up on and interpret, and that's, I think, so if you read the blog that I put out, one of the really interesting things about this game is that, hey, the exception. So the thing about the blog was, I think there's a strong tendency to, okay, they want more reason. Against my better judgment, I'm going to take reason out of here. I'm going to throw reason in here. It's right at the time that I'm going to get sick too, so that's going to be a problem. But I do want to see what happens when I throw passion in here, because I know that this is locked in now. I think Glover's going to be, or Alden is going to be disappointed. I would say that I'm disappointed, but my expectations of you are already low. I have no choice but withhold a portion of your pay. You may go, but be punctual tomorrow, please. All right, so bad luck for me, and it's going to be for research that I don't think is actually going to pay off. But yeah, this is one of the big things, is that even though I'm in a bit of a holding pattern, especially compared to previous playthroughs of the game, I actually feel like this is one that promotes a little more exploration on my part. Whether or not it streams well, I kind of have to leave to you. But I'm really intrigued by how my behavior has changed, even with my knowledge of the game ahead of time. I will admit I've struggled in the past to try and get followers inside. Let's take a visit to the woods. I think part of that's just me being a moron. Oop. False turns in the labyrinth. Fair enough. I am afflicted. Sorry, I shouldn't have paused, but... And then afterwards we'll be able to put traveling at night there. So I'm good for reason. Hopefully I get another passion out of this study. I can heal up my affliction after working at Glover and Glover. And I kind of need to get Forge. But of course, to get Forge, I need to go to... So, I mean, you can see the logic behind this, right? You need money to go to Moorlands. So make sure that you manage things well enough to keep a roof over your head. You don't get suddenly sick or anything like that. Get yourself to a point where you can build a ritual. Which is sort of what I failed to do right now, but that's because I was taken... Oh, hello. A subtle flaw. Laces uncoil, windows swing open, locks move as if oiled, a second-order influence apparent to the perceptive, instantly recognizable to an adept. Alright. I'm kind of curious what determines... Oh, I've got another furtive truth. I'm a little curious what determines the... where is my affliction? Here we go. I'm kind of curious to... Ah, excellent. We've got another passion. What determines which cards break? The map, in addition to being absolutely gorgeous, is probably a big headline feature of the... Okay, subtle flaw. Oak blocks move as oiled. The course of the heart. Whenever the principle of the heart is implicated, I may gain vitality. Okay, so I really want to get on top of this thing in terms of studying. So I'm not going to study anything else until this gets taken care of. Back to Glover and Glover with you. I've got money for my tasks. Lighten the skull. Okay, I'm going to use this for fees first. Okay, so we've got vitality. I guess what I really need to worry about is if I get an injury as part of the training. But okay, Lantern gives me erudition. Not quite ready to buy something from Moorlands, but I'll get that in a minute. But yeah, sorry, I'm all over the map on this. But I think, like I said, the thing that really caught my attention. Oh yeah, so we're gonna try and recruit again. I don't think this is gonna work out, but we'll try. Okay, nope. Do I have any purple? I don't think I do. Not that that's mattered in the past. Okay. Get to work! Good health. Oh, bad. Health is no more. Okay, an injury. Let's heal that up. That'll get me an additional heart, so good news there. I should be able to support myself. If I have to work overtime, it's going to bounce between these two things, but I should be able to cover my expenses. Again, I'm not going to go to Moorlands for that reason, but it's basically just to make my character a little bit more robust to disaster. We will do traveling at night, though. The annotated dream journals of Christopher Elopoli, sometimes called the only readable occultist. This is the second volume. Elopoli's work is literate, entertaining, and bewildering. All right, overtime it is. So this will probably rip the money out. Yep. But it's done in 23 seconds, so we should be able to pay for the treatment. And then same deal, I'm going to take care of the affliction. I may cheat and pause just to make sure that the money goes where it's supposed to, but we'll see how quick I am with the trigger. Johnny, out of curiosity, are you still in the channel? Because I know this is not usually your cup of tea. All right, sorry, I'm going to do it. I had enough time to handle it, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to blow it because that could potentially end my playthrough. Alright, so we've gained the Sexton's Secret and erudition. There is an extensive discussion of the similarities between Elopili's own dreams and those of Emperor Elagabus, who Elopili regards as a dupe or avatar of the sun in rags. The white is west of the world, Elopili remarks, and winter does not wait forever. You're here, Johnny! Okay, excellent. Am I any closer to getting you to play this game? No, I was gonna check if we were gonna do something later tonight. I was debating, normally I go for another hour. I might go for another 2 if you had any feelings one way or the other about it. It sort of depends, I mean, in one sense it depends a little bit on my progress. But I just wanted to see what your feelings were with regards to any plans. If you don't feel comfortable saying them out loud and everybody being disappointed with not getting another hour in the cast, you can whisper it to me as well. Obviously I'm not committing to doing the hour anyway, I just sort of wanted to see what I'm working with. Oops, sorry guys. If the opportunity arises. Or if my voice can support it for that matter. I thought I had water here. Yes, I do. Okay. I definitely need the money fast. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be shy. What a shame. Still down? Okay. I will, yeah, I'm gonna try. I really do want to try and make some progress for folks. Johnny and System Shock making plans, maybe. All right, let's dream about our affliction again. Oh, hello! I've got 2 senior positions at Glover and Glover. I think that might be a mistake. Give me just a second here, guys. Actually, one thing I promised to myself. It's 3:46, and you're a little high. I could go on forever. All right, so target demographic. Slightly different from what I thought. I just want to mark the time at the cast, so 2 positions at G and G, 2 hours 3 minutes into cast. I suppose theoretically I could rise higher if someone died. I feel bad about not getting the curl my hands in the correct shapes and begin. Well, I can afford a little diligence towards the task. So it's 70 seconds. Ooh, I think I just set myself up for a world of hurt. You can ship it, and have done so with a snippet of fan fiction. That was read aloud, indeed. Are you talking about the buttery man crumpet? Is there any way I can do 2 jobs at Glover and Glover? So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So apparently to get the senior position at Glover and Glover, I don't know if this is just the game taking, you know, having mercy on me and saying, it's like, okay, you clearly have not figured out how to deal with your boss. I guess we'll just give it to you, like the loser you are. Or if it really is just a matter of persistence. But it looks like I'm actually going to be able to afford my medicine, although I might cheat and hit the pause button again. But I'm glad you guys are entertained enough to go through, because I really feel like, except for the map, you guys have been seeing the same contents over and over again. Okay. I neglected to put my reason to work, but such is life. Okay, 2 health. Good news. I've got 49 seconds. I can afford it, so we will go to Moorlands and we will spend money, because that's what responsible cultists who come into money do. So my next goal right now, so I sort of know that I need to do rituals. I've got the passion to spend, so we'll head to bedtime. I probably should hit my reason again just to see what happens as a result of that as well. But right now I'm a little short on lore, so I need to address that, and I really want to find a way of turning Sylvia into a follower. Right, we're just gonna set these to the side here. Not quite ready to get something from Orlands yet. So I will throw my reason into this just because, you know, why not? And we're just gonna keep shopping for the next little while. Because again, I'm short on lore. I at the very least need some forge. But I am gonna start doing some more cycles into the land of dreams. Okay, so I think what might be happening here, so I can choose to get a buzzing in the brain, or I can flip this over, and basically I'm gonna wind up giving up. So I think the idea here is that if buzzing in the brain is one of these 2 cards, it's already canceled because I said I didn't want this thing. Nope. Well, I can take a peculiar rumor, although it didn't really do anything for me. Fnord a little more later. Oh, interesting. If I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I might be able to find the way beyond it. Ah. Well, what happens if we give this a sexton secret? There's a house in the wood. This much I know. Here's a light through the... Oh, hang on. No, let's take the watchman's secret. Employ passion to enter the wood, or with the right lore, find the way to the white door, the door where the dead throne... Okay, well, no, this is white, so I'm going to start with that. I think the lantern's supposed to be what gives that to me. Light in the wood, not enough. Okay, not enough. Furtive truth? I don't know if that's right. Red secret? Let's try the red secret then. I'm always the last to leave, even after the elder Glover. I am on good terms with the younger Glover. He likes to joke that I might take his job next. I won't, of course. His father will see to that. He makes the joke to put me in my place. It is beginning to annoy me. Is that possible foreshadowing? Alright, another collection of poetry. Not my favorite, but at least we can throw some passion in to take care of that. Oop, the crowds of sleep, the waters of the wood run cold and deep, never clear. Oh, rain is coming, but the right kind of rain. Something's happening! Alright, contentment, the red dreams in the rain. I dreamt of the rain whispering in the eaves, tapping on windows like an old friend, hissing prankishly in the chimney. It is difficult to be unhappy in the right kind of rain. So I didn't get anything for that, unfortunately. We'll use passion. Now that I pass between the scarbark trees, the moon passes behind the branches, though her fingers remain in my hair. I am stumbling over roots now. It is tempting to drop to all fours to avoid the low branches. Pale wings move deep in the night. So I think probably I do need to use the Watchman's Secret, but it's probably not high enough. I probably need Watchman's Secret 4, so more glimmering. We'll hit this again. Again, I have a surplus of damn it, I forgot to put it in. I have a surplus of reason, so I'm not too worried about about spending it on that. It's not like I'm using it for anything else. And I've got a surplus of funds, so rather foolishly I haven't been buying out Moorlands, so let's carry on with that. Sorry, lots of things happening. Sadly, I'm no closer to recruiting Sylvia, but we'll deal with that once I have something new to try. Back to the the Mansis. Okay, so an occult scrap. That's very tempting to run away with, actually. I think I'm going to take it. And I think I need to start organizing my scraps a little bit better. That was a bit of a wimpy move, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting more... I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting more of these things. Johnny, I promise not to read that if you don't. The 6 letters on necessity, warnings and... Oh, okay, let's just get this all taken care of. Okay, sorry, I'm going to do the poetry first. Warning... Give me the money! Warnings and confessions about the cost of the secret arts addressed to a student by a 17th century magus and reported immortal Julian Costley. Okay. Back to the store. This will go back to the study. You read it twice. All right. Are we still on for tonight? System Chalk inquires with a playful grin. Johnny's facial hair rumbles with the quake of a grin. Of course I'm still down. Johnny chuckles brightly. Still down, eh? System Jock comments, voice smoldering. He can imagine running his hand through the wheat-blessed fields of windswept amber grain contained in Johnny's manly chin. The night is young, and so are these two men, their plans only hinted at by their mischievous banter. I find something noteworthy. The Locksmith Stream, A Light Through the Keyhole, the first volume of Teresa Gallagher's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. All right, I have got so much stuff to do now. I am more than I was. More passion. Okay, so passion leads me to the wood. Gallagher leads me to the study. The parallels in mystic dreams experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans are what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Surprisingly mordant and even funny, no one has ever explained why Gallagher devoted herself to this chaotic exploration of artisans' dreams. All right, let's see if I can remember to employ reason at Glover and Glover again. Tell me more about your chastise of sins. All right, that was uncalled for. Again, as you can see, I have more worldly resources, so it's a little bit easier for me to do things like add things to my library. I'm not as worried about my health problems because I've got a backup heart. And in 1 second, I will be going back to the scary place, the Worm Museum. All right, I don't want a peculiar rumor, so... I think I already have a subtle flaw. Ooh, vitality. Oh, hello. Am I supposed to be able to do that? Yeah, I've already got subtle flaw, so... Unless... Yeah, we'll go for the vitality. Back in the woods with ya. Okay, so we've gained another Watchman's Secret. I should be able to upgrade that, I think, but I'm a little uncomfortable with the idea of... Locksmith Stream portions and proportions. All right, so I'm a little short on cash at the moment, but I'm gonna run ahead with it anyway, because I'll get paid soon enough. Already did. I wonder if I can just use reason on its own. Doesn't do anything. Damn it! Ooh, that injury is gonna hurt in 22 seconds. Oh my god, so much stuff. Well, I can take... My god. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, let me just take a note of that. I think it wound up stacked on one of the other cards, so... Sorry guys, I do want to be dutiful in my bug reporting. Sorry. Card, War of the Roads, 1450 to 1580, censored version. Willis Ford describes the War of the Roads, an event in the history other than our own, a history other than our own in detail, but numerous pages have been removed, the name of the publisher is blacked out, and an ominous slip stapled to the cover explains that Willis Ford has been excised. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick second here and adjust my my stacks. I might want to eventually put these with the lore, but I think I'm okay for now. Yes, I need to find a place for books. I'll do 2 stacks here. Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, I also need to dream about my affliction. Forgot about that. And we'll toss some money in there. And gained an additional furtive truth. I don't think I'm going to be able to stack that. Peculiar rumor gives me its aspects, secret histories, moth, and an ingredient. Well, we'll just take a minute. See, normally I should be like doing this while the game is running, but seeing as I've already kind of committed to this, I've already committed to this cleanup. So I want to put my scholar here. I can leave this to the. I'm not going to use this again, so I'm pretty sure this is a mistake. And I don't know. It's not an ideal desktop, but it's a little tidier than what I had before. Okay, so I think this is going to give me an injury, which is going to get consumed from here. Yep. Well, okay, I'll just live with that, and let's do the Locksmith's Dream, Portions and Proportions, the second volume of Teresa Gallmer's examination of the parallels in the mystic dreams of artisans. The frontispiece has been slashed with a razor. In this volume, Gallmer records fewer dreams and explicates more on her own elaborate theories. Okay, so we've gained Glimmering. I'm going to dream to get rid of the despair. It really is a beautiful map. Isaacson, I thought, again, I obviously now I appreciate the importance of dreaming in the game in a way that probably I didn't appreciate before. But the visual of the map really sells it. Oh, damn it. Okay, I can't just throw it to the side. All right, I'll put it right beside the damning evidence, because that's what I think work is. I might be able to toss 2 reason into that, actually, now that I think of it. Oh, I should still be going to Moorlands because there's always another book to buy. Gained erudition and a locksmith's secret. Now that's a pretty big deal for me because that matches the subtle flaw, and so it's possible we might be able to do something cult-wise with it. Damn it. And I've got my health back. Just in time to lose it to another thing. But let's take a second with our passion to gain some contentment. We've got On the White. And we'll go back to Moorlands and eventually find ourselves Latin grammar. Okay, back to the study. The 6 letters on necessity. Costley's tone is urgent, as if he suspected he might have little time left. And back to the mirror. Oh, not back to the Mirror of Glory. We'll collect the money. We'll go back to our senior position. Can I add it to Vote of Devotion? Sure. But I'm not going to put acceptance in. Okay, so to the Mirror of Glory. Sylvia, and this time we'll take the locksmith's secret. And we will add the subtle flaw. No dice. So I need to think a little bit about what these things mean. I suspect some of this has to do with the fact that it's not related to my cult, which is Lantern. But I don't know. Okay, so traveling at night. At least it's not in Latin. I don't want to accept this at all. We've gained the Smith's Secret. This will be good for... well, you'll see in a second. And let's go... I think at this point I need to try and heal up. So we'll put this on my affliction. Damn it! To recover my health, I'll need money for food and medicine. Well, I've got no shortage of that. Back to Glover and... or not Glover and Glover. Back to Moorlands to buy another book. Glimmering. I'm always the last to leave, even after the Elder Glover. So, back in. I'm just gonna try tossing my reason into this until I have something else to do. I won't accept the job, obviously, or I won't dedicate myself to the job. But where are we? Okay, so all these books, getting a new one. Let's read Traveling. No, hang on. Well, I've dedicated too much reason, so let's read Traveling at Night just so I can get that out of the way. But I'm going to show you what happens when I start combining lore in this way. Ah, a collection of essays. You know what? I actually could use more reason right now. So back to Moorlands for more goodies. I've got 1 erudition right. Oh, 2 erudition. I might be able, if I can just burn. No, I'm not. Oh no, Traveling at Night. Yes, I will probably be able to. I will probably be able to get this collection of essays. Read. It'll be close, but I think I'll be able to do it. And again, this is just because I'm letting Moorlands consume a little bit more. Burning of the Unburnt God. I'll read the lore for that in a little bit. Okay, got my health back. Good news. Okay, it's just... Oh yeah, plenty of time. Let's go back to the wood. And as always, we'll buy ourselves another book. And okay, Burning of the Unburnt God, compiled by J. Wigglesworth Jensen from the Oral Traditions of Rural Persia. By the way, if you want to know the background of this name, it's very charming, and it's in a blog post. On the White, Solomon Husher writes, perhaps allegorically, of winter and its long, slow, doomed romance with the sun. The epigraph is sunset at noon, and we've already read that. Okay, so we've got the Barber's Warning, which we'll drag down here. The power of the wood enjoys the separation of the lock from the scalp. For attention, burn it. For opportunity, bury it. And found another collection of essays. Not exactly what I needed right now, but we'll we'll press on. I got contentment. We'll be going up to that beautiful map again in a minute. More reason. Okay, so hello. Well, I can get another furtive truth, or I can get another subtle flaw. Also a little tempted to move these things around just to see. Interesting. 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 Uh-oh. Okay. I was like, I think I made a boo-boo. I think I'm just gonna go to work like normal. Let's study the burning of the unburnt gods. Jensen hypothesizes a pre-Zoroastrian fire deity whose rites were the rites of smiths. I've got another collection of poetry, which fair enough, but I really am looking to get some more stuff. Hello, Masamigoma. Have you ever played Rakin? I've never heard of it. But how are you tonight? All right, I still don't want to upgrade this Watchman's Secret yet, but I guess I can do another trip through the wood. I have an idea of how to get further in the wood. I'm pretty sure it's similar to the last patch, but another collection of poetry. I don't think I've gone through all the lore yet. Okay, and the Ardent Orison. Jensen ultimately concludes with apparent reluctance that the deity, am I not at work? Okay, was a goddess. He suggests that that its gender may have been the cause of its suppression. The rites are described as often eerie, sometimes grisly. Okay, so we'll move these things up because I need to make space for the higher level forge. Let's read on the white. On closer investigation, the work seems to be a theory of aesthetics, or perhaps a set of warnings about the dangers of painting. So we'll grab that. We will go back to Glover and Glover. I don't think I'm going to employ my reason this round, at least not 3, so we'll get that. On The Queens of the Rivers, a surreal contemporary play by the enigmatic Monica Medina, in which the Queens of the Rivers are murdered one by one, so we can walk away with peculiar rumor, which doesn't seem to be really worth it. And instead we can see subtle... Oh no, I want the vitality! Give me that! Oh. Alright, another subtle flaw. And we're sick. Oh no, we're not. Alright, another book. Where are we? Okay, subtle flaw. All the Latin, all the English. The essays I'll get to, but I think I'll wait until I get some kind of a glimmering or an erudition. I don't see a lot of use in taking up these study cycles just to get some erudition or something like that. Alright, a Sexton's Secret. Husher writes distractedly of his hatred of colors and his yearning for death. He hints at a great work that he has envisaged or begun, where the palest of paintings will enthrall the world. He returns again and again to certain compelling phrases, and which he claims are the secret words of winter. More money. Okay, we already got an occult scrap, so I'm not too worried about that. Furtive truth. Okay, well, we'll take it out. I don't think I'm getting anything out of this, though, so maybe we'll hold off on those trips to the... Instead, what we'll do is we'll employ reason. Nope, we will not do that. We will use reason with dream. We will study... Let's study the War of the Roads. In the past, a score or more longs were made. They brokered peace with the Forge of Days, long enough to set England on a path of early conquest and eventual destruction. The Forge itself devoured the greatest among them. And as always, Moorlands gives us books. We like books because they give us lore. I guess I did promise I was going to be combining these things into rituals. I should get that done now. I do need to make sure that I take care of my health. It is kind of nice. I can't remember exactly what gave me, what put me on this path, but it felt like in the an introduction to the histories. Nice. Keep throwing money in. Tonight is the dream of the labyrinth of doors. Okay, interesting. So I'm getting more stuff. Lots of furtive truths. Let's introduction to the histories. Restlessness. A restless longing has me. I feel that I want to do something. What exactly? I dreamt of opening doors, red doors, gold doors, and doors of glass, and doors bound like books, and railway carriage doors, and castle gates. Behind one was something I seek. I woke with a slamming of doors in my ears. Alright. Gildersleeve's Latin Grammar. Very important book for me. So, and I'm out of money! Alright. Back to Glover and Glover. I think I'm just going to do some ordinary work for a little bit. Damn it. I think I'm going to do a little bit of ordinary work for a little while. This desktop has become a mess again. And I need to dream about my affliction. So throw some money at it. Exploration. Oh yeah, we're not buying books yet. Okay, gain an occult scrap. Gildersleeve, where are you? Give me the Latin. And I'm sure I could have done something with restlessness, but I'm not 100% sure what, so we'll hold on to it. I think after Gildersleeve, I'm going to try and build a ritual. I probably should have done that earlier because the ritual might actually open up some other alternatives for me in terms of recruiting Sylvia. Okay, so money, please. Okay, here we go. So I'm a scholar of Latin, not that I need that right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the Smith's secret. Very few know that smiths and murderers speak the same prayers. I will examine those prayers. So we'll start here. Let's start with the locksmith's secret. So promising research, this project has possibilities. When the research requirements appear, I must fulfill them to gain insight. If I gain 3 insight, I will succeed. Otherwise, I may fail. Okay, so we've got some health, the course of the heart, so I think I'll get something that will allow me of probably another vitality. Of course, the challenge is that if that comes up at the wrong time, I actually wind up in despair rather than healthy. I'm not sure if that was deliberate. I didn't really feel like it was too easy to get health, but there you have it. Ooh, let's... Oh no! You do need glimmering. Okay. Well, that failed. So we will... What will we do? We will do nothing for the moment. Nope. I will buy books because I am drowning in money. All right, well, we did get some erudition, so I think I did say that I was we're going to take a slight hold on, research just so that I can get my erudition up and we can throw some more reason at the problem. Now apparently I'm going to need some glimmering. So Yeah, I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that I've got a little extra erudition. I'll do 2 rounds of this on what is contained by silver. Greek, a bestiary by Pomander. Finally, that Greek comes in handy. But yeah, just because I have the erudition, it'd be nice to get that taken care of. Actually, I also need to do the vitality, but I think I'll be good for that for the next little while. I think erudition, oh no, they last about the same time. Tough call. Well, I'm definitely going to do another round of erudition because of fear of bleak thoughts. But I do need to use up that vitality relatively soon, otherwise I'm going to lose it. Those don't come easy. Alright, and we have bought out Moorlands. A dreadful souffle of something deep mystery something. A dreadful souffle of half-digested rumor about secret worlds and the irrelevance of contemporary morality. None of this seems true, but it's very grandly written and does describe a catalogue of unlikely and probably invented debaucheries. Readings might impress the impressionable. If I bought this from a shop, it probably means that there's nothing of interest left in stock. So, Moorlands is not useful to us anymore. Let's try some other things. So, I know there's a way for me to get commissions. It's exploring something, I'm pretty sure. Seek out those with secret. I'll ask questions around town. It may attract kinds of interests. Alright, definitely going to use that vitality soon. Well, actually... Oh, sorry. Collection of essays. Sorry, I should probably... They're all decaying. But yeah, with 60 seconds I have 1 full cycle with the vitality anyway. Do I want to do anything with dreams? I don't feel like there's anything I can do at the moment. Oops. Ah! Let's just go back to the woods. Alright, Dr. Ibn al-Adim. Dr. Ibn al-Adim, called the Aleppi, has an interest in overlooked history. He could use your assistance. Let's keep at that. Got additional reason. So, we were lacking glimmering last time, so let's throw that in. Oh no, what am I doing? I will just barely be able to use this vitality. Sorry, I've apparently taken leave of my senses. And I think I can just put all of this on one big line now. I'm probably going to pause as soon as my study is done. There we go. So occult scraps, furtive truths, peculiar rumors. Nothing too helpful. Let's get a commission from the doctor. Would like my help with his research. We've got Madame Bichet. We will throw another reason at the problem. Where's my vitality? Oh, yeah. 2 seconds, I'll have it. Alright, so we got some glimmering. Probably not enough for me to... probably not enough for me to commit to the... let's throw reason into the dream again. Interesting things happen there. Okay, so he wants an extensive commission on secret histories. Dr. Ibn al-Adim, called the Alepine, has offered you a commission. He's looking for particularly obscure information on the secret histories of the world. Use work to complete this commission and talk to get paid for it. All right. He doesn't want too much. And we'll get a commission from her as well. She's seeking pieces for the notorious Kersham Review. I don't really need to be working right now because I'm not spending as much money, but... And an extensive on the Grail. Madame Olympe Bichet is seeking suitable articles for the Kersham Review. She wants something extensive and unflinching on the Red Grail. And we've got Count Jennings. Okay, so I've got an injury. We should hopefully be able to deal with that in a little bit. In the meantime, let's read... The Queens of the Rivers. The Queen of the Vistula is poisoned. The Queen of the Nepier chokes on the fishhook. The Queen of the Tagus is burnt alive. Put these commissions way at the top here. Oop. Oh, hello. We've got an intensity of radiance, fascination, and reason. Okay, that's a bunch of stuff that I need to deal with. Sorry, I'm getting a little overwhelmed with it. Or actually, even though I'm getting overwhelmed with the cards, it's not supposed to be paused. So let's talk with Jennings about what he wants. We've got our commissions up here. Commissioners will go here. Fascination by the wood. I've got an affliction, of course I do. Commission on the edge. I don't even think I have any edge. And I think these are all the people who I can get stuff from. Yeah. I'm pretty sure my glimmering has since vanished. Oh no, it's still here. Case of mistaken identity. Alright, an occult scrap for my efforts. Let's study passion once more. I'm going to chuck my affliction into my dreams in a second. Nothing I can get from exploration at the moment. We've got another erudition, so maybe I'll be able to do something with the collection of essays. I kind of need to use this glimmering before too long. Yeah, I think it's time to... I think we're going to make a run on... trying to make a ritual. This isn't who you hoped for after all. They're no one of particular importance, and eventually they'll pass from your memory, and perhaps no one else. Perhaps there's no one else available who you'd like to meet. Okay, one of my health is back. Oh, actually, sorry. I'm gonna have 3 health by the end of this. I forgot. Okay. I'm gonna be okay for glimmering once the studying's done, but I want to make sure that this is. Okay, so let's research this Smith's secret, and we'll combine that with the locksmith's secret. This project has possibilities. When the research requirements appear, I must fulfill them to gain insight. If I gain 3 insight, I will succeed. Otherwise, I may fail. In the meantime, I don't think there's much else for me to do. I'm working, I'm dreaming, well, healing. I'm doing research, nothing for me to explore right now because Sylvia is not yet an initiate. Alright, so they want reason. And I don't have the means of possibly an extensive history on the secret histories. I'm not sure 4 is enough for that, though. I don't know how high the ratings go. I can obviously try it. I might actually, it might be an idea for me to try that because I don't really need to go to work that much. All right. So if it's not 100% clear, what's going on? Oh yeah, fascinating. Okay, light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. So delirium, the higher I rise, the more I see. Moth, an ingredient. I'm actually mildly curious to see if I can use this. It could be that I'm actually using the wrong item here. Oh, damn it. Alright, they want more reason. Of course they do. I spent all that time getting glimmering. Okay, let's try that again. Where did my lore go? And trappings. Fascination does nothing for me. All right, well, let's do our best with writing a it's a substantial treatise. All right, well, that's not going to help me. But I'll write it anyway because why not? Okay, the intensity of radiance. Light dews the skin and suffuses the hair. Oh! I completely ignored this. That's very likely. Okay, so if... more reason. Okay. So... my hypothesis was correct. Okay, to recruit a novice, I only need sufficient fear or awe. The higher mysteries require deeper... Oh, hang on. Lore or reputation? Okay, so I might have actually been going about this entirely the wrong way. I might actually need reputation for this part. Because that's, like, the combination that I did there was what I originally thought I needed. But I could be... apparently I'm reading this totally the wrong way. My bad. Okay. On the histories of substantial investigation. I really hope I didn't skip something important. Discover a ritual. All right. I pieced together my ritual. It must be spoken in a whisper. A little blood needs to be shed, but only a little. This ritual can be created once. Performing this combination again will have no effect. Cool. So we've got the rite of the mother's mercy. The assistant is offered in sacrifice to the mother of ants, but the mother knows healing as well as poison, and she will be merciful, accepting the substitute of a lesser offering. Usually the experience is not reassuring for the assistant. The sick room grows close and stale. Time to get up. Now, did I lose my... I did not lose my lore, which is nice. So let me think a little bit about... Let's discuss occult business with my assistant. We'll see if I can get anything done with that. In the meantime, let's keep reading on the history... Oh, we've got the substantial investigation. I guess everything else is in dead languages, so let's move on. We will... Deoris, why not? Oh god, okay. We will use my Latin. There we go. We'll translate Orchid Transfigurations. Why not that, actually? Fleeting Memory, Mortal Frustrations, I'm okay with. Let's try Reason again for the Wandering Mind, because crazy stuff happened. And then as far as Fascination is concerned, I can probably dream about that as well. Dreaming seems to accomplish a lot in this game now. So, but now that I've got rituals, I really do want to focus on my ability to recruit. And I'm going to break my rule and I'm going to pause again. Okay. I'm going to pause again to see if I can understand this recruitment screen, because it's something that's been holding me back for a while, and this wasn't always the case. Okay, so I need an associate, a new recruit, or a hardened disciple. Well, here we go. Ceremony. To recruit a novice, I need only sufficient fear or awe. The higher mysteries require deeper oaths. So, presumably no... Okay. Huh. That's really funny, because I seem to remember doing this before and I couldn't recruit someone. But this is exactly how I recruited somebody in the early version, so it could be that my total misunderstanding of how recruits worked could be based off of just like some weird quirk where I wound up, uh-oh, a trembling in the air, the sun flickers like a shadow, dreams ripple behind the surface of mirrors. I must be careful not to drift from the waking world. Fascination may provoke visions. All right, so we've translated the text. I think I'm just gonna keep translating for a little bit while we see what happens with the fascination. There was once a man who said that the sleep of reason produced monsters. Often it is healthy to let the mind wander in sleep, but if I keep dreaming, sooner or later some monster will rise from my own fears. Down I go into Herschelt's nightmare. Probably not good for me. So Sylvia's now a believer. I've still got notoriety and the Mirror of Glory, so... I remember that Herschel wrote of this. I've layered up floorboards and wriggled down snugly. Now I am compressed beneath them like a hidden corpse. The air stinks of hot dust. My mouth is full of splinters. This time I haven't learned what I hoped to learn, whatever that was. So what can I do about dread? Clear my mind. Was I different before? Ah, yes, I needed contentment, which I don't have. And that notoriety is going to get gobbled up, and I'm going to be very sad. Okay, let's see. Okay, actually, let's start with Sylvia can go exploring. Oh, interesting. So it used to be that you could send off used to be you could send off believers to do things for you. Alright, well, here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to use the Watchman's Secret. Speak of esoteric matters. I might make a useful contact or improve my reputation. I might draw the wrong kind of attention. I'm going to see if I can get somebody... This is probably actually just going to get some status. Damning evidence. Not good. I have been neglecting my studies. Okay, so I need contentment before I can get rid of the dread. So we'll put that in. I'm trying to find a way to get some more recruits. All right. No, don't need notoriety. I've got contentment, damn it. Okay. Earth Gape, oh no, it will not harbor me. With damning evidence, the Suppression Bureau will be able to convict you. Evidence is permanent unless destroyed. What can I do about that? Alright, so... Okay... Dream about the evidence? Nope. But I will dream about my dread. Contentment goes in. Let's use my Greek to read on what is contained by silver. We will go back. We'll go back to Glover and Glover. Oh my goodness, I did not realize an hour has passed. Need to find something to do about this. So I can talk to Wakefield, arrange a meeting, but I don't really have anything to ambush him with quite yet. So now if I explore using lore, this does nothing. Okay. So it seems particularly difficult to try and get more people. Ah, okay, so apparently I can get them to do certain things. Let's get them to... Send someone unsuitable to murder a hunter? Yeah, that's not happening. Oh, Jesus, what do I want them to do? Clear mind. More work at Glover and Glover. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I can... Send a devious minion to drive an annoyance insane. I want this annoyance gone, but my minion's abilities are limited. This might very well fail, and if it does, it will draw attention. Nope! Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be good for now. Nothing then. Okay, cool. There's definitely lots of new stuff to learn. Okay, Dire Bestiary of the Horrors to be found in mirrors. This is a recent edition by of the 3rd century text by Pomander. Oh, that's right. I was going to use the damning evidence on... Okay. So I can't put the damning evidence in. Can't put the Orchid Transfigurations in. I'm assuming I can't put the Ritual in. Don't want to send them to kill Wakefield because they're not equipped. Sickness has ravaged my body, but I've got money, so that doesn't matter. Follower moth. Yeah, I can't quite bring myself to do that yet. Not with the notoriety that I have. If I can find another, person to. Okay, so. Mantis Glimpse. The virgins maidens of the mirror favor orchids. The the behindlings favor the rhododendron. Cut flowers of either nature should not be placed before polished bronze. So I think I'm going to be able to make some progress in my dreams with this. Let's do the Orchid Transfigurations. A feast. The illustrations are certainly striking. They flush the skin and glow beneath the eyelids after the book is closed. Okay. I mean, in principle, I could also do the hint rites. Each rite can be used for many purposes. For summoning, I must begin by calling upon the power of the knock, which will open the way. All right. Summoning begins with knock, but it usually requires 2 other aspects besides. This is a start, but I'll need more power. What offering can I give? Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to put Sylvia in. Oh, no. Unskilled labor, back laboring. Oh, man. Is that really what that's supposed to do? Well, they've got spare health. All right, so let's now take the way of the wood. I have enough passion, I can walk the dream road to the wood. If I have the right knowledge, I might be able to find the way before it. So let's take a Mantis Glimpse. Approaching the white door, there is a house in the wood. I know something of that house, enough to find my way to its light. We must devour to be devoured. We cannot be undevoured, as we cannot be unborn. So we've gained a red secret and glimmering. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use passion so that I can use the collection of poetry so that I can... Oh, we've actually already got a red secret. So I'm using the passion so that I can combine that with the glimmering here for an additional collection of poetry. I might even try that with my reason, but I have a feeling that the erudition will be gone before the time. Locksmith's Secrets. Oh, the day is gone, so am I, but I've earned my pay. I'm not sure that's supposed to happen that way, so let me just pause for a second. It's at 2 hours, 58 minutes. All right, so as fun as the summoning is, I'm clearly missing important ingredients. Oh, hang on. No, not an ingredient. I'm just going to take a quick stock of the ingredients I have. I forgot. Oh, this is one of my investigations. Okay, the assistant is offered in sacrifice to the mother of ants, but the mother knows healing as well as poison, and she will be merciful, accepting the substitute of a lesser offering. Usually the experience is not reassuring for the assistant. Now, the only things that can be consumed and are tools... Well, I suppose one thing I can do is try and upgrade my follower. As far as tools like passion, reason, all that sort of stuff, I'm not sure that's desire. Yeah, I'm not quite sure that's how this is supposed to happen. Yeah, so my dilemma now. Oh, okay. There are the bounds about the house with the mists and their traces. This rock, called the Temple of the Wheel, high as a church spire, patched with black lichen and daubed with eye signs. I round it, and there ahead of me is the white door. The light of the house leaks around the edges. Alright, so I've got my Mantis glimpse. We've got the way to the white door. We'll actually use that right now. In my dreams, I know the path to the white door, through the bounds, but the path is thronged with the dead who pass that way. I will need health to resist their chill. Now I can approach the white door through the bounds. Now I can press my fingers on it, feel its chill, watch it swing open. As it opens, my mouth closes, tightens, heals over like a lost deformity. Around and about me is the cobalt light of the Mantis. I don't know what I just gained. Okay, so I've got 2 glimmering. Let's go poetry. Let's also get some money just because I can. And yeah, I'm really on the fence about where'd my follower go? Did I? I'll have to find them. Okay, so I've got an icy atmosphere, as tempting as that is. This might be the only time I go here, so... A subtle fracture. Okay, I do get my health back, so that's good to know. Or do I? Okay, so 1 health accounted for here, 1 here. Oh, this actually does eat up my health. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's just let's just simmer down for a moment. And all the timers seem to have stopped. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Apparently I did too many glimmerings. Okay, so I seem to have lost my follower somewhere. So I lost a follower, health. Health I sort of knew about. I got this in return. But man, I am stumped about how I'm gonna... The crowds of sleep. The narrow path is crowded with slow shapes. The air shivers with their sighs. My blood is thickened with cold. I must turn back. Oh, to the cleansing dawn. The sun is rising. It won't spare me. Okay. Oh, and fascination is now... Intensity of radiant. Okay. This is good to know. I mean, these influences will come in handy at some point, I'm sure. But oh, I can. Okay, sorry. I gotta sort myself out. I'm really mystified as to what happened to my follower. That's a pretty bad loss. Because I'm not sure how I get another one. Where's that other glimmering? Right here. Oh yes, I need to... Now, I think, I can't remember if I dream of health or, yeah, actually, now that I think of it, I know there's a way that I can get some more of those, more of that vitality, which I probably should do because health is a fairly substantial price to pay. In the meantime, though, as awful as it's going to be, I really need to get more followers. So I might make a useful contact or improve my reputation. Might draw the wrong kind of attention. Does any of this change? Might make a useful. Okay, esoteric matters. I'm gonna try this one. So he doesn't say anything about gaining followers, which is the real dilemma for me. The second volume of a compilation of quasi-Rosicrucian allegories, supposedly by Robert Flood. This is a later English translation. Flood, or pseudo-Flood, suggests alignments between the alchemical tradition of Rubido and other Grail traditions. Although the Pine Knight's quest for the through the Pine Knight's quest for the Cinnabar Cup. You know, as much progress as I've made. Oh no! Why do I always have this happen? At this time. Okay, so if I dream of health, nothing happens, but I'm sure if I study health. It's gonna wind up. Oh, yep. A trial. There are crimes the state does not openly recognize. I am accused by one of these. The Suppression Bureau holds their trials in closed court. They are not merciful. I must find a scapegoat or all is lost. Now, carefully. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if I can rip through this. Oh, but I don't have mystery. Okay, so let's try one of these. I think I'm dead. This is normally when I would be able to take my my follower and throw them up as a scapegoat, which wouldn't be great, but for whatever reason I lost them, and I think that's the end of the game. Which is oddly enough right at the time that I normally finish, although it is a bit of a shame because I was hoping to actually implement this ritual and show you what that would look like. But anyways, Hector, you had a good run. Okay. I think that's another one to report. A shame. But I think that this is a good time to call it tonight. Oh wow, I can't get out of here at all. I'm gonna have to Alt F4 this, I think. I hope that gave you guys an idea of Cultist Simulator. I know I sort of stopped talking halfway through because I was really getting into it. But so who is this game for? Why might you enjoy it? Why should you follow it and such? The best that I can say is that the game. So the way that the trailer describes it is it sort of combines a card game and crafting games. But the big point about this is that it's a game that I think what really appeals to me is that it's constantly interactive. It always gives you something to do. And a lot of the story, the game gives you hints and it gives you suggestions and you fill in the blanks. And that's something that I don't think enough games take advantage of. So in terms of the individual activities that you'll be doing that can give you some, I don't know how to put it, they'll give you like what your time is going to be spent. Oop. Sorry, guys, I just got a quick message that I needed to deal with. Does it penalize you for being slow? Not really, Albadon. You can, I think in the options, which I don't have access to right now, unfortunately, I believe you can actually set the pace. Not a problem at all, Ruskin82. I hope it was worth it. I know I go a little more in depth into what the game is during my previous streams, so I feel a little bit bad about that because I really thought I was going to make more progress in the game. But yeah, let me talk a little bit about who it would be for. So the thing that's really great about this game is your individual activity is going to be like combining all of these different pieces together, right? And in one sense, it's not too much of a reach in terms of like what your character is, right? You're combining bits of lore and you're trying to keep a roof over your head and so on and so forth. But what's really neat about this, one of the things that's kind of fun about this game is if you're the sort of person who likes playing role-playing games and like you always have to read the books, or you need to, you know, you want to find out more about what's going on. There's a whole world that's being hinted at here, and the deeper you go in, the more you see. And I think the thing that's really interesting is it's a very lightweight game, right? Like everybody can understand moving cards into certain areas. But as you think about what's going on and when you reflect on the meaning of what these certain actions are, you get to build this whole world inside your head. And it's really interesting to see it that way. Again, if you want to know what the game is about in terms of like English class or something like that, I mean, again, it really is about trying to satisfy that thing that you're in the world to do, that great passion that you have, or that great work that you want to do, while also managing the real life demands on you, right? That you have to keep a roof over your head. If you don't take care of yourself, there will be health penalties. You know, it's not easy to actually go out and do something really unique, and you do build on the work of others. But at some point you need to push out into the dark and do things on your own. The further out you get, the more, you know, the more perilous it becomes, the more likely you will fail. And how you deal with that failure is a story in and of itself. It's why losing in this game isn't particularly bad. Sure, you lose a lot of progress. That feels a little bit bad, but it's not the end of the world. The end of the world is if you win the game. But I really do encourage you guys. So there's a few things you can do right now. I strongly recommend, if you want to get this game, do wishlist it on Steam or Humble or GOG, wherever you want to go. The reason I recommend that is that if you back this in Kickstarter, and for the first week, I believe, when you buy this game, you will get what's called the Perpetual Edition of the game. The Perpetual Edition will give you lifetime access to the DLC that's made. So the trade-off is this, right? So I know a lot of people look at games like this as like, oh, I'll wait till it's on sale, or I'll wait until the reviews come in or something like that. But it really does help games if you buy them early on. And so the trade-off is if you take the chance on the game, you know, you've seen a couple of streams, you're interested in it. If you buy it early, then you get all the DLC. If you don't buy it early, well, that's fine. What you get instead is, you know, when you buy it on sale, you know that you're just ultimately paying for the DLC later, right? So if if you think this is interesting enough that you want to see kind of the extra floors and stories that Weather Factory adds to the game, I would recommend it. And honestly, the biggest reason to wishlist it right now is you do not want to be the person who buys it the day after the Perpetual Edition doesn't become available. You're going to feel like a moron doing that. As far as people who don't like the game, who wouldn't like the game, I mean, I said right off the top, the game is not for everyone. If it doesn't appeal to you, here's the thing. If you really like The Last of Us, and one of the things you like about The Last of Us is that it's kind of like watching a movie, this may not be the game for you, because the game is told through these icons which mean things. It's told through suggestion. It's told through little snippets of... Yeah, exactly, Johnny Big Time. The Kickstarter link? Sure, but you can't actually kickstart it anymore. It's been in development for a bit. But again, if you wanted the stuff you would get from Kickstarter, just get it within the first week of purchase, and you can get the Perpetual Edition. It's coming out on the 31st of May. You can also follow Weather Factory. So on Twitter, it's at Factory Weather. Well done, Johnny. But yeah, so if you want to follow the development, there's the Weather Factory blog, weatherfactory.biz. There's the Twitter, at Factory Weather. The two founders of Weather Factory are Alexis Kennedy at Alexis Kennedy and Lottie Bevan at Tron Bevan. Again, I think probably looking at the biggest problem that I have is actually I think there's going to be a subset of people who are interested in the game, and I've not done a particularly good job of sort of explaining this experience. I do recommend, by the way, you can take a look at some of the earlier videos where I talk a little bit more about the themes of the game. And that might give you an idea here. But really, the thing that's so great about this one is it's very simple in terms of mechanics. You know, if you want to play a cultist and you're going to be studying and sort of, again, picking at the skin of the world, taking a look what's underneath, you're going to be trying to combine things and see what's going on. If that sort of thing appeals to you, then this is definitely a game that you need to take a strong look at. And if it's not for you, look, you know, I really appreciate you hanging out here. You know, I realize sometimes some of these games are more fun to watch. I think I know I said this the last time on the previous build, and I didn't actually wind up getting back to it, but I had computer problems in that. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time, because I ended on this character getting wiped out. I think I'm actually going to spend some private time myself in this game and get a little bit more progress, and that way, next time I do this again, I'll try and do this next week. I can maybe show you a little bit more progress in the game so that the early stages we can get through a little bit faster, and then we can maybe start fulfilling some rituals, and we can start upgrading some of our upgrading our followers, and just generally doing some of the more interesting things like destroying evidence and summoning alien gods and such. But with that in mind, I've worn out my welcome, and I know Johnny and I are going to play either Spy Party or Ghost Recon Wildlands. So I am left with the question of whether or not I should leave you guys with tabletop role-playing, EverQuest, Retro, or Dark Side of the Moon. You know what? I get a chance to host Ponce as an auto host, but I don't actually get to live host him as much. So I'm going to raid Ponce tonight. He is playing classic EverQuest, which I've never actually seen him play before, but apparently he really likes it. I know him from Vancouver. He's a really nice guy, very calm streamer. Used to be a big League of Legends streamer. You'd never see him go nuts, which is a feat in and of itself. So I'm going to send you along to him. He's a great guy. I do encourage you to drop that raid message. We're tired of system talk, heard this place was better. And I'm off to play more video games against my better judgment. So have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.